Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling
Folks, if
is
there's
Cool.
one thing I hate, it's the taste of toothpaste. Yuck. It's like putting chalk in your mouth. When my dentist heard about the problem, he gave me bubblegum flavored Crest. It cleans my teeth, but now it's bubblegum flavored. Thank you, Crest. My dad likes ballpark franks with mustard. I like ballpark franks with mustard. My dad eats his best ballpark frank with one hand, and I eat my ballpark frank with one hand. And my dad says ballpark franks are the best hot dog in the whole world. And I say it's the best idea. Would you like another ad, Santi? Would you like to be WrestleMania 42?
Well, I don't want to interrupt our ad session with podcasting. I'm here for the ad specifically.
I'm here.
Maybe you hit me with a Hulk Hogan documentary ad.
Okay. The best thing about Frosted Flakes, brother.
I didn't want an ad as Hulk Hogan.
They're great, brother.
Folks, welcome to the The Ads Are Cool podcast, the coolest ad podcast on the planet. I'm one of your hosts, Santi. That's Sancho. Oh, dude, I am a shell of myself after the insanity that was WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to you guys are getting the last bit of energy that I have from this weekend. I've saved it here for the podcast. Just so many hours of streaming, so many hours of recording videos, and it crescendos here in this moment with our podcast here. Sancho, how was the WrestleMania festivities for you, my friend?
Well, I would say that at the end of the day, I came to this conclusion that the WrestleMania lost its charm over the weekend. It really did feel so commercialized. It felt like a formality. It felt like it was not necessary. It was, man, like every Super Bowl, you find something, a reason why to watch. And maybe it is the ads, right? Like maybe WrestleMania has become the Super Bowl legitly. But I think at the end of the day, it's like it wasn't the showcase of immortals. Like they were cutting themselves short for that immortal. Like we were so close in a lot of matches, and only one got to that one place where it belonged in the showcase of immortals. You know what I mean? You walked away with CM Punk and Roman being in that match, like hell yeah, brother. That was the showcase of immortals, and then a new emerging immortal, which I cannot talk about. But yeah,
you're still not allowed. Oba Femi, for those that weren't able to connect the dots. Damn, man, you had so many people telling you you're not allowed. And here's the thing, Sancho. You showed your hand. On the last episode, you whined like, oh, you're killing the bit. It's not killing the bit. You showed your hand by telling the world it's bothering you. It bothers. No. This is Santi time. It bothers you that people tell you you're not allowed. It bothers you to have been wrong. It bothers you that Oba Femi has proven your bum ass wrong in so many ways. And now that people know that it bothers you, it's going to continue to follow you wherever it is that you go, Sancho. You should have just leaned into it, had fun, but no. It bothers you. And guess what? The fact that it bothers you makes it so much more sweeter. The nectar of your anger and your tears, so delicious upon my supple lips. It sucks that you're not allowed. And for you, it sucks that you hate that you're not allowed. But for me, it's such a kind reward, my friend. Yeah.
I look at this sign above us. It says, wrestling is cool. You know, that is where this whole thing is. We were supposed to talk about how cool wrestling is. It doesn't say Santi is cool. This is not for you. This is not for you to gatekeep.
Oba is cool for Santi, not for the rest of wrestling you can enjoy.
Do you know what bothers me, Santi? Is that you seem to forget. You seem to forget that you said I'm allowed on the train.
Yeah,
and
I lied.
You forget. And you know what also bothers you? Is when you see someone rising up to the top, when you see someone ascending, you try to keep me under your thumb, goof. You want to put me down. You put me on the thumbnail, and then all of a sudden you hit me with this not allowed. You get mad at me for years ago for not letting you on the New Day train, and then now you're taking your revenge back on me. This is my bit, by the way. This is my not allowed bit they did, and I put it to rest because you know why, my friends? Wrestling is cool. This is not a place where we gatekeep. This is a place where we welcome the people that could be wrong about wrestling.
Oh, yeah, we welcome them.
You welcome it. And then you hear, sir, the pillar, just because you have the most subscribers between you and me, just because you got the most average viewers per stream of watch party, just because you are standing on top of the mountain and you're that crab that so happened to climb out of the barrel, and you're sitting there on top of the barrel, king crab, and you see this little crab right here making his way out, and you shove your big old craw, bam, and you're squashed. That's right. That's right.
Listen, wrestling is cool. Everyone's allowed. You're just not allowed on the Oba train. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling is Cool podcast, coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. You can, of course, be getting this episode 3 days earlier and ad-free over on patreon.com/SantiZap. Eventually, there will be a real ad, not one of the fake ads that we did at the beginning. And you better watch it, and you better go support SeatGeek, folks. But yeah, you won't have to deal with any of that stuff over on patreon.com/SantiZap. Not only that, but you get the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, the PLE reviews. Both nights of WrestleMania reviews are over there for your viewing pleasures. There is a lot of PLE action in May. You've got Backlash. You've got Saturday night's main event. You got Clash in Italy. So there's going to be a lot of content in May as well, following WrestleMania, as well as all of the match clubs and ongoing series like the NXT Takeover main event reviews, and Sancho's currently ongoing Elimination Chamber in review, as well as all the completed series that we have there as well.
You will refer to me.
Sorry,
as
Chamber
my
Daddy. Yes,
Thank
Chamber
you.
Daddy, Leather Chamber Daddy Sancho is reviewing the Elimination Chambers.
I just think of dodgeball.
You should, dude, for your finale of that, you gotta dress up like leather daddies in dodgeball. Dude, that'd be such a good payoff to that. You absolutely should. But yes, 3 days earlier, all the content for $5. It gets you access to everything that we do. And now that the Mania craziness is over, we'll find some time to do our monthly movie night as well here in the early days of May as well. So please keep a lookout for that. But Sancho. Actually, real quick first. Hi to all the new patrons. There's so many of you. Thank you so much for coming over from the YouTube from the live streams here to the Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting us in what we do and allowing us to do as often as we do it.
Wait, I noticed you did the SpongeBob.
I did. And I was doing it as you were complaining and whining.
I noticed it. I don't know.
I'm glad you knew what dance I was doing.
I got you.
All right. I kind of want to, I know we're going to break down WrestleMania. So if you're here for that, don't worry. But I think you hit, parodying a very important point of this weekend's WrestleMania, talking about the ads, how violently intrusive they were. It was unacceptable, like, frankly, in my opinion. And you also made a really interesting point about how the magic of WrestleMania seems to be getting diluted for, I would say, corporate interests, advertising, money, all of this stuff. And we see it with the Super Bowl. You've said it, right? People tune into the Super Bowl for the ads. But I do think there's a big difference, Sancho, in that the Super Bowl is on free airwaves for everybody. This is on premium behind paywall subscription services. So to be there and forced to pay the $60-something for ESPN, the $20+ dollars a month for Netflix if you're international, to no longer get that premium experience of having no ads, and then now getting what is kind of a peasant experience of ad after ad after ad after ad is just simply gross. And I'd be willing to be more accepting of it, Sancho, if we had 8 matches, if we had matches that ran on an average of 15 to 20 minutes. But it's very clear that this ad strategy didn't just put more money in their pockets, it actively hurt our product. It actively damaged WrestleMania. I'm looking at night 1. We have 4 matches under 10 minutes. One of them being a Women's World Championship match under 7. Night 2, a little bit better, but not much better. 2 matches under 10 minutes, one of them being under 5 minutes, and 2 of them being almost 10 minutes on the dot. I look at previous WrestleManias for, like, if you want a really, really, like, just stark example, night 1 had 3 women's matches All three of those women's matches combined went on for less time than WrestleMania 39's Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. So if you want like a direct apples to apples comparison of how the product is being damaged and the end product being presented to us is diluted, it's right there. It's not just with women's wrestling. A lot of the men's matches suffered from this as well. A major star-making moment was damaged and diluted in Trick Williams. I can't blame any of the performers because they were all given so many of them were given such little runway to create magical moments at WrestleMania that we're used to. Like, do you remember anything Jimmy Uso did? Do you remember anything Bayley really did? Because a lot of those short matches were also multi-man, multi-woman matches that gave very little time to the individual performer to really stand out at WrestleMania. And all of that, I know I'm kind of just throwing out all my thoughts there at once. All of that combined does makes it feel like we've lost sight of the vision of what WrestleMania is. It is supposed to be the biggest, most important wrestling show of the year. And I no longer think it is the biggest wrestling show of the year. I think it's the biggest pageantry of the year. I think that's ultimately what it is, because the pageantry was still there, the glitz, the glamour. But my goodness, man, the intrusiveness of the ads, the 30 to 40 minutes in between matches, the shortened matches, the small match card. There's stuff to love about this WrestleMania, genuinely. But the stuff to hate is easy to universally hate across the board by all fans.
Do you believe that the intrusive ads was to make up for the loss of revenue at the gate?
No, I think the intrusive ads at the end of the day is to try and pay off the insane debt by Endeavor to purchase WWE. And the reason I'm saying that and not the gate, Sancho, is because I think this is going to plague all of our PLEs moving forward. I think this is it. I think this is the reality of where we're at. Now that TKO feels fully comfortable taking over and putting their hand in the cookie jar. Did you hear the leaked audio footage of the conversation, the talk being had by TKO executives at University of Michigan? They said like,
Alabama.
Yeah, well, sorry, it was Alabama. They've got full control. They know that, hey, celebrities and all this stuff is going to damage and alienate some of the fan base, but this is how they're going to move forward. They have no recourse, remorse. They have a full speed ahead strategy. And I don't think that this strategy that we saw at WrestleMania is a one-off. I don't think it's because of low ticket sales. I think it's just the reality that we live in now.
Do you feel that we've had so many instances or hints that this was happening, though? Let's not get it twisted. This is not like should be a shock to people. I think one of the biggest hints was R-Truth. When R-Truth got let go, it was a soulless move, because you go look by the numbers like, well, R-Truth doesn't have this many matches. R-Truth is this old. Does he have potential to be a main eventer? Yada, yada, yada. Somebody was looking at just base numbers on R-Truth and how much merch he brings and how much his segments bring in rating wise. And they did not understand the magic and soul that R-Truth is to the WWE. Do you know of any other instances where it felt like the magic was waning? I felt like another point was when there was the Raw after Mania for several years. It was just like, wait, you're forgetting that the Raw after Mania is supposed to be big moments, huge fallouts, big launch points. And they kind of recaptured that last year. But I feel like as time goes on, we're getting this commercialization of the WWE because I think it is that relationship with ESPN. It's trying to be more of a sports product. And then on top of that, you have to make money if you're ESPN, because WWE historically is not a good advertisement place. It has the best demographic of 18 to 30-year-olds males, sure, but they always have issues selling ads, because Fox, when they had it, they were like, yeah, we're pulling in great ratings for the demographic we want, but no one wants to buy WWE's ad space. They just don't. When my mother-in-law works in the commercial space, they're very limited in what they could pull in. Mostly you get is like local fast food joints and things of that sort, like Carl's Jr. in LA. So when you're here, ESPN has absorbed this commodity, has purchased this for billions of dollars?
It was like 12 billion.
Billions of dollars, and you get
billions of dollars. Anyways, go on.
You start that off. You start this relationship. You realize you got a house that has some foundation problems. You're like, oh no, what can we do? Well, they start selling those ad space. So it's may not be a WWE issue. It's just that the people that pay the bills, their landlord, the one that oversees them in Endeavor and TKO, that's what's happening, brother. And then you add on top of that ESPN. I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic than you, Santi. I don't think this is the way the PLEs are going to go further on, because it felt like Monday Night Raw, at least the product in ring was different than the product before WrestleMania.
Sure. I'll say this, though, to play devil's advocate. I sat at John Cena's retirement show. I sat at Survivor Series, recent PLEs before WrestleMania, and I was still sitting for 30 plus minutes in between matches. Saturday night's main event, a little bit more par for the course, 5 to 7 minute matches.
What was happening in between those times?
For me, nothing. For me, nothing. I like in the arena. Yeah, there were ads, but like a lot of the time, like the screen would be off, whatever. Recaps we would be getting in the arena. I don't know if you guys at home were getting hit with ad after ad after ad, and maybe you weren't. But what I will say is that the structure has been there for months to do it. I remember, for example, like when I was at SummerSlam 2024, TKO had already taken over, but they hadn't fully put in all of the practices that they have in now. I didn't have time to go to the bathroom or grab a drink in between matches, even though it was still only like a 6-7 match PLE card, because they went in between 10 minutes. They weren't 30 plus minutes in between. Now, dog, I could like fly back home in the time that I have in between matches over the last couple of shows that I've been to. And I can't imagine what the experience must have been inside of the stadium at WrestleMania to wait 30 to 40 minutes between matches. It's kind of insane to me. And let's not forget, man, like at the end of the day, like there are people that paid a very, very high amount of money, especially that dude that just decided to be like, I'm going to pay so much that I'm on the commentary table and I'm going to hang out with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. But people paid an insane amount of money for the wrestling. And this was the most expensive Mania, and this was the Mania with the least amount of wrestling. So bang for your buck is also on the way down.
Do you feel, though, that not only that, it's the little details? It's the little details for me. No backstage segment. Nothing like in between. Like no like random celebrity sighting. Like that would be the place to have those one-off celebrities just walk in and like, oh my God, oh, Joe Jonas, you're in the back, yay! And even the entrances, they don't feel so grand, but you can't cut entrances. I'm sorry, if a wrestler has worked their ass off all year and then to cut their entrance for an ad,
gross.
Like Dragon Lee, I'm sure was like, ooh, I'm at Mania, I'm gonna get the biggest wings I've ever had.
Best wings, baby. I've been saving these wings for Mania.
And I think that stuff probably comes out of their own pocket, from what I understand. Even like pyro still comes out of their own pocket. Anyway, the point I want to make is you can't have the wrestlers who work their ass off get their entrance cut. You can't have ads in between random parts of the entrances or anything like that. It just felt like you were just being rinsed, man. It just felt like you were being used. Like it didn't care. It was like, oh, it doesn't matter. They're going to be here anyway. They're going to watch the product. We're going to shove everything in front of them. They're going to stick around because the next match is happening. But when those next matches felt off, when the rhythm felt off, you're like, you get used to that minutia, like, all right, they're here, they're gonna ramp it up and go home, and then they go home during that ramp, you're like, wait a minute, what happened? Like, we had a whole nother gear, and Mania is supposed to be hitting that other gear. It's supposed to be that secondary, third, fourth bonus overtime, game on the line, one like tied up ball game type of feeling that you need to go like, all right, who's gonna win here? It's all up in the grabs. And that's what hurt so many matches. So when people criticize me for that, I focus on too much on match time. I was like, dude, match time is everything. If you don't have the proper time to tell your story complete to bell, then you're just there for what? The ending, the formality, the conclusion, the results. And that's not what this is all about. This is not a situation where you go, well, at least so-and-so won. But yeah, I get it. But where was the story for that? Because you know why, Santi? Do you know why story matters, folks? When he who cannot be named by me destroys the beast incarnate, right? When he gets destroyed, do you know why it matters? Because the freaking beast incarnate had a history in the WWE, 20 years plus or something, just insane amount of lore, and all that plays through your mind at WrestleMania when you see this dude go down to the future. That matters. So when you just say, oh, it's all about results, then you're forgetting all the great things and all the struggles and all the triumphs that Brock Lesnar went through, the streak that he broke, all that kind of stuff leading up to this moment where it ends with he who cannot be named by me destroying him and putting the 1, 2, 3. That's why that matters. And that's why it mattered that it happened at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying?
I totally hear what you're saying. I think it's adorable that you think you can't say his name. You just aren't allowed to enjoy it. That's all. You can say Oba Femi. Nope. You're just choosing not to because you're salty and sour about it, and I think it's hilarious. I think we're fully in agreement here. I will say, I feel like I gotta point out some major pie in my face as well. When it comes to ads,
Yes.
I feel like I got a Trojan horse, you know?
Okay.
It's just a prime ad on the mat. What's the big deal? Other sports have ads on the mat. What? Oh, on the turnbuckle? Who cares? Slim Jim table? All right, okay, we're starting to do a little too much. Fireball ladder, so you can only win if you're on the fireball ladder. It's just, it started so harmless, because I still think that ads on the ring are completely harmless. I really do. Like, they do not impact my viewing experience at all whatsoever.
What about the names on the ring?
I don't care. Good for you, whatever. If you want to pay for that and you want to get your little piece, whatever. How does that impact my enjoyment? It doesn't. But we're at the point. We got there. They took enough advantage of us. We gave an inch. They took 30 miles. And we're at the point where it's now actively damaging our product. Now we actually do have a problem here, Sancho. And I hate to probably be the one to say it, but it's probably going to end up being a uber mega lucrative strategy for them. It's probably going to work.
Can they go back?
In their eyes, there's nothing to fix, Sancho. In their eyes, this is fixing it. In the company's eyes, they fix the problem of not being able to make enough money from WWE. In their eyes, their problem isn't the product, the wrestling isn't good enough. The storylines aren't being fleshed out enough in the ring. That we're not exploring the lore and the background that you're talking about. That was not their problem. That's creative's problem, and they have to deal with that problem, but that problem is not a priority to TKO. They've solved their problem of money and of solvency and all this stuff, and it's at the expense of us and our viewership experience.
Did you miss the video packages before the matches?
Yes. I mean, that's like the bare minimum, right? You know, if you're not going to do backstage segments, the bare minimum is like, get me hyped for this match. Like, did it not feel borderline random and lifeless when Dom's music hit? And it's like, wait, what's the juice here? Why do I care about the Demon Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio? Especially like if you're a new fan, like this means nothing to you. Where's the story? Where's the 4 years of history? Dom joining the Judgment Day, turning on his own father to align with Finn Balor. None of that. It's your last second to be able to explore those relationships and tell the fans why you need to care about who wins or loses. But we needed to, see Hogan must pose. Like, so it's so poetic that it's Hulk Hogan, right? It really is poetic that it's Hulk Hogan.
It is. It cracked me up because I think, okay, maybe 1. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They would do. There was one where they did more than one during the break in between matches.
And it perplexed me. I guess I was like, I just saw Hogan's documentary. But that's Netflix, right? So you're having so many people at the table having their say, like, oh, we got to get our stuff in, we got to get ESPN stuff, we got to get Netflix in, now we got to get TKO, now we add as well tourism for Vegas. So we got boom, 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 all adding to that. And it's kind of crazy that the people that put their blood, their sweat, and all this stuff into the ring are like the third, fourth thing on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes down to what matters at WrestleMania. But I will argue that people who say that this is a bad Mania, I was like, no. There's actually a really solid Mania underneath all this crap. You just got to sit through it, and you'll get to the good. And you'll get to the nougat.
What my argument, Sancho, was this didn't have enough runway to be bad because it also didn't have enough runway to be great. There's stuff to love here, but like the matches were, so many of them are so short, and I can't tell you any of these matches were bad. But there's many of them where I'm like, it wasn't long enough to be given the opportunity to even be bad because they were so short.
I don't know, man. That Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Ooh.
Okay, we differ. I actually really liked that match.
Ew, brother. Ew.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. But yeah, man, the what you said, man, the soul, the wrestle part of the Mania seems to be. We should probably call it Mania Wrestle, right? Let's focus on the Mania, the glitz, the glamour, the grandioseness, make money. The wrestling comes after.
I agree. And I don't know, dude. I think what's so weird about this entire Mania season is that we're not focusing on the wrestling, but everyone's like really ripping apart the TKO part. They're looking for fingers to point at. You know, there's so many people blaming the Triple H's. And it's interesting that this Mania didn't have Triple H as a head figure. He didn't come out, welcome people to WrestleMania. I got to give kudos to John Cena. You know, John Cena protected you. You know, you were about to be upset if you saw the jorts. But is this a safe place?
Go ahead.
I do believe that if there ever were a biopic about Vince McMahon,
oh my God,
John Cena should be Vince McMahon.
Dude, I got put through the coals for saying the same thing. I said he looked a lot like Vince McMahon. He had a lot
like
in the suit, man.
The chest,
the hairstyle.
Yeah, I was saying, welcome to WrestleMania. Like, that was all Vince coded. I know Vince controversial. I know Vince bad dude. But if there ever was an A24 biopic of Vince McMahon, there's a few actors on this earth that could have that bodybuilding style that Vince had when he was older and actually be the great actor that could pull it off. That'd be John Cena. I know
they'll probably give it to Chris Pratt.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
he gets everything, bro.
He does get everything. But I was like, man, this guy looks and acts like Vince. And he's like, I want to welcome you to the main event. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's because when you do something for the first time, you just default to the guy you think who did it the best. And that's Vince for him.
Fair. I will say, I still thought it was kind of soulless out there to just trot out Cena.
Playing his music, get out there.
Well, I don't mind that it wasn't in the shorts or whatever and all that stuff and that it's not the John Cena. But like if you're going to have a name of this caliber, like I look at previous hosts in the past, like the freaking Rock when he was at the height of his popularity, the host of WrestleMania 27, arguably at that point, like a top 10 most famous person on the planet, right?
Yes.
His hosting job was to welcome people. He cut promos. He had backstage segments, a moment with Mae Young, a moment with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with legends, with current stars, many segments in the back in between matches.
That was funny with Mae Young. No, don't ever do that, Mae Young.
and Cena was just, hey, welcome to night one. Here's the stage. The Bianca Belair moment was great. The Danhausen moment was great. I'm glad that we got one of those on each night. But then, hey, here's the attendance. Here's also the attendance. And here's the thing. The structure of the show prevents Cena from being able to do more in the backstage because Hogan must pose.
The ghost of Hogan, dude. You can't get rid of it. You have to exercise the poltergeist, dude.
Well, let's go. Let's dive into the show. I think we've done enough complaining about the structure of the show. I think it's totally fair, though. Criticism.
It's criticism. I had to say that. It's so interesting to me is that people would defend corporations so quickly. Doesn't that bother you sometimes? It's like, dude, when I used to get a bag of chips, that thing was filled to the top. Now it's getting less. It's getting less because you know why? Corporations like to test you. We still buy if it's less. Oh, they do still buy if it's less because they formed a habit. Let's give it to them a little bit less because all those slight little margin adjustments, the little tinkering. Oh, this women's match had 10 minutes this year, 15 minutes. What happens if we give it to them for 7 minutes? Mm-hmm. Oh, they find that. You know what? Maybe we'll give it to them for 5 minutes. I'm telling you, dude, we have to say something or not. They're just going to keep going and going until we hit the bottom of the barrel.
I still think that at the end of the day, what will determine whether or not they steer the ship in the direction that fans want to see is whether or not advertisers are happy and buying more. Because if they're happy and they're buying more, they're just going to double down on this.
Did you feel that what happened at Raw after Mania, setting up Backlash, there was a lot of like, okay, we got the Mania to satisfy the TKO part, but here we are, second half, we're going to give you the real Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vecchiata match?
That's what I'm hoping for. But
right,
that is my hope. Do I have confidence in that? I'm sorry, I got to say no, especially with the leaked audio of we have full creative control, which, by the way, I think it's silly to interpret that to mean we write everything, that we have the direction of it. It just means they have final say whenever they want to have final say. That's my interpretation of it. If they want to change something, they can. And if they want to add something, they can. No one can stop them. But you think friggin' Ari Emanuel is writing for Danhausen on a weekly basis? No, that's not happening.
And I interpret it as if something goes wrong, they could claim responsibility, or if something goes right, they'll take credit for it. That's what I.
Oh, you think they take responsibility when it goes wrong? They said that, but like I still think that's what Triple H is there for.
Okay, after this Mania, because we kind of tapped at it a little bit, we went, is Triple H on the hot seat still?
I don't know. Because here's the thing, what will be their measure of success? Because it's clearly not critical acclaim. That's not what they're going for. Is it just going to be dollars in, dollars out? Did this Mania make money with the ticket sales, with the gate, with the ads, with all this stuff? In my head before, the head of creative, as from an outsider looking in, not in the business, my interpretation of what their performance review would be is like, did people like this? But now I don't think it's that anymore, right?
See what you're saying. At the same time, there's not a review board or like, hey, they didn't win an Oscar, your film didn't get an Emmy. You know what I mean? Like, there's none of those metrics because it's like there's no governing board above it because they are the end all when it comes to Hall of Fame.
What do you mean? They've gotten every single Slammy ever.
What do you mean? What? All the
they're 100% on the Slammy Awards.
What I think what is the ultimate barometer for all these kinds of things is that when it comes to historically how wrestling always measured itself is, did we beat the gate last year?
And they did.
When we're back in this town, did they beat the gate this last year? And that's an important thing because they're about to go back into the Europe side of the world, which they did gouge last year. Oh, brother, they gouged everybody again last year. And I think as well is if the product doesn't seem cool anymore. I think optics matter in that aspect. So you got to give credit for TKO because they brought back the celebrities. They brought back everybody who wants it's a must-see ticket. It feels that way. If you're at a wrestling event, you're kind of cool. You're no longer just like, I'm here for wrestling, yeah. So I think when like the celebrities start showing up, when like PR people don't see it, it's like worth going to a wrestling event. Like, oh, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Then I think people will start wondering something's wrong in the WWE. But I think you have a great point that if by their own metrics they're hitting it, then nothing's going to change.
Yeah, there's nothing to fix, right? In their eyes.
Correct.
Here's what I think is a hot thing. Is it a hot place? Is this a hot place? Is this
yes, it is.
It's getting hot. Is this a safe place?
Of course.
You know who can save this? Saudi Arabia. It's Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania 43 because look at the Saudi shows that we've gotten so far. They're getting no ads. They have no ads. The ads, tourist ads, which is the whole reason why they purchase these events in the first place. They have their tourism ads, the Riyadh season ads. They only have Riyadh season ads in the ring. They don't have like the Fortnite ads. They don't have Coors Light or anything like that. They only advertise Saudi Arabia. I don't think that they're going to be doing 40 minutes of Saudi Arabia ads in between. The whole reason they bring these events is for tourism. So I expect tourism ads as we're already getting. And I anticipate because they have such deep pockets to be able to pay a lot of money for WrestleMania, that it should hopefully mean that TKO and WWE doesn't feel inclined to jam ads in between matches because they've secured the bag And I'm sure Riyadh Seasons and the Saudi Arabia Tourism Board doesn't want to share ad space with Snicker bars or with Fireball or with the Hogan documentary. They want that ad space to themselves.
Ooh. That's an interesting point. Do you think
It's something to think about.
Do you think that WWE goes, all right, last year we did not this X amount of matches. We're going to give you more this year to show that we listen?
I think maybe, but I have it in my head that, again, I don't know how, canon or true this is. I have it in my head that hopefully the powers that be in the Saudi commission that makes these decisions says, we want more matches. We don't need your advertisement. We don't even need to be profitable on this event. We want as much glamour, as many names in the ring. We want The Rock. We want this, that, and the other. Oh, you can't have The Rock in a match? Backstage segment. Let's bring back backstage segments because we can afford this. Because our plan is to take an L on all of these events because we're trying to win them back in tourism, in something else. Just something to think about. Just something to think about.
The stage is going to be great. And at the same time, with all the craziness that's happening over there, I mean, I'm sure they're going to want tourism to kick back up again.
My understanding is that, like, a lot of these events that are shying away from being in Saudi because of the hotbed that they're currently in with everything that's going on, they're just paying more money to bring them in anyway and saying, like, we work so hard to try and bring tourism in that we don't want this war to ruin all of the efforts. So they're throwing even more money at these events to come in anyway. Again, dude, these guys are flush with money. They don't need your Fireball ads. They don't need your Slim Jim ads. They just want to advertise their tourism. We're at the point where I think the hero of WrestleMania is going to be Saudi Arabia. Damn, bro. Damn. Shall we talk now about WrestleMania proper now?
Aye. Quick question. Should Mania go back to 9-1?
Nah. I think this they go to night one. We get less matches. They go to one night. We're going to get less matches, more ads. At the very least, this allows them to stretch out the ads and give us a couple more matches.
Well, I mean, this entire pod would fit with the amount of wrestling that happened in WrestleMania 42.
My review of night one had as much content of me talking about the show than actual wrestling on the show.
Dang,
right? Dang. All right, well, let's talk about WrestleMania. We'll start with night one, just kind of give our thoughts on everything that happened at the show. We started off with the Usos and LA Knight defeating iShow Speed and the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Before we kind of like break it down, I want to ask you, as the resident LA Knight fan, did this give you the optimism that you wanted out of this?
Yes. What was I expecting? Was I expecting a 15-20 minute banger? What I got was funny moments between LA Knight and Speed, the body slam on LA Knight, and then LA Knight getting up going, what the fuck was that? Like, that was hilarious. Him doing the side headlock and standing up. I like that. And at the end of the day, he was raising the hands with iShow Speed as if to put it away their past. And LA Knight probably has a free ticket to show up at iShow Speed stream, whatever he wants. And at the same time, probably millions and millions of views. And the WWE got exposure through Speed Stream as well. So they had all that going for them. I know you think that, hey, this was only an 8-minute match? What did you have there? How long was this match?
Yeah, we're 7 minutes almost on the dot.
Okay, sure. 7 minutes on the dot, but guess how many impressions and views that bad boy got? Probably a lot more.
I think you're misinterpreting my question.
I'm not misinterpreting your question. I got exactly what I wanted. I wanted LA Knight to be featured on a stream.
Okay.
Where millions of eyeballs were on.
But is your optimism about him being the one that benefits from the...
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just checking if the optimism was still there.
Don't look. You, Denise Salcedo, all trying to walk me down from this. LA Knight's winning not many Money in the Bank. Yes, he is winning Money in the Bank. Do you understand? He walked in there into Monday night after Mania, looked at it, Gunther, and said, "We both won WrestleMania matches."
Listen, I'm just asking because I think the one getting the celeb rub from this is Logan.
Yeah, but Logan Paul's a celebrity as well, okay? Logan's going to get the match at Backlash, probably, with Speed versus Logan. That's what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen? Is all of a sudden, Logan's going to take it too far, and he's going to beat down Speed so much that all of a sudden, out comes LA Knight for the save. That's what's happening. What do you mean? He's the only friend that Speed has. Is Jimmy and Jey Uso are now busy with Roman, so that takes that off the table, right? You say who benefits? That takes that off the table.
So LA Knight,
Austin Theory, if you feel it, if you see it, the pressure, what is he gonna do? He's out there pressuring somewhere on some sidewalk. I don't know what he doing. So the LD leaves one other person in that match that is not feuding, that is not a heel, that is LA Knight. See.
So you think it's gonna be LA Knight? You know, the benefit here is likely winning Money in the Bank.
Santi, I don't care if the whole entire if he has a broken leg and he's going in the Money in the Bank, he's gonna climb up that ladder and win Money in the Bank. Do you understand?
I think it's gonna be CM Punk, but
no, because he said,
opportunities fall from the sky.
Yeah. But literally, Cody goes, "Yes, they win, buddy." So hey, so look at me, dude. Stop trying to stop me from having one thing. Give me one thing to stick around on this podcast, damn it. Okay? That is LA Knight becoming Money in the Bank winner.
Okay. All right.
Damn.
I just asked if the optimism was there. You know, I feel like I hit a button like George R. R. Martin here. I just asked if it was there, brother. That's all I did.
The question is the delusion still there? Yes.
I didn't want to word it that way.
Yes, it's still there. Okay, I know I'm broken. I know I'm like the penguin, little Sweezy up there on the shelf, all dusted out with a broken squeaker. I know this, like, it could be tomorrow. Your mom could put me in the trash bag and donate me or throw me away. I get it. It could happen any day, but I'm still going to sing my song, damn it. You know what I'm saying?
Sing away, brother.
You ever see Toy Story 2? You ever feel for that little penguin?
I do feel for it.
What happens at the end? What happens? They fix the squeaker.
They put him in the incinerator and then the movie ends.
No. Did you see that prank they did to that person's mom?
Yeah. the Toy Story 3 ends in the incinerator scene.
It just fades to black and the guy is like, well, that's it.
That's such a good prank.
It's a good prank.
I mean, I agree that, from the match perspective, I don't have the same optimism that you do here with LA Knight. I think the match, what else were people expecting out of this? I think for me, were you not expecting something a bit more? Okay, I'll say this. One of the things that I was expecting out of this match with how much WWE was touting the numbers with Speed was for them to do something, either a major entrance for Speed individually or a big moment for Speed that would try and cross 1 billion views. That's what I thought they were going for. And I liked the splash. It was good. But I don't think that we got that moment that transcends. I don't think we got the Braun Breaker spearing I Show Speed gif that will last the test of time. So I still think it did the job, surface level, we got there. But I can't help but feel like there was something left on the table when you have I Show Speed and Logan Paul out there and the ability to create more social buzz. I still felt like there was food left at the table.
Well, why don't you say that meat on the table with
oh God.
But wouldn't you say that is the theme for the entire Mania? And like, if you were to look at that match at the very beginning, you're like, oh, okay, I wish there was more. But then the second match had that, oh, okay, I wish there was more. And then the third one, like, oh, wait, I wish there was more. Where's my Mania? So I feel like that's the overall theme. Like, every match had handcuffs, and then these were the handcuffs that they got, and they still were able to produce at least one, the moonsault spot into the clothesline, and then the big thing was the leaping off the table and breaking Logan's ribs. Oh, what more can you ask for? And I think, like, with that, if you saw I Show Speed do that move, I think all the talent in the back were like, okay, he could bowl. He could play.
I'd love to see I Show Speed back. And it seems pretty clear that we're going to. Yeah. All right, so the LA Knight delusion is still there. Yeah. Let's go to the other match that was also in the first hour. We had the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Hang on. I'm just going to quickly look for it. I don't see, is the unsanctioned in the room with us? Like, where's the
Unsullied?
unsanctioned? Where no, nobody wants to be unsullied. I do not want to be unsullied. I like having my balls, my friend. You know, did they explore in the show whether or not they keep the peen too? I can't remember. In the books, it's just the balls that go. In case you're curious.
You see someone driving, listening to the podcast. Going, what the fuck?
Anyways, yeah, I'll take this one first. I actually really like this. I really like the match for what it was. I thought it was a great no disqualification match. Some really fun spots. Another good social media moment with the Instagram reel and posting it mid match. I think they got the right winner. A good follow up for the winner, immediately going after the World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns on the Raw after WrestleMania. But I think it goes with the theme here where this match needed more. This is not necessarily a match that I feel needed more time. I think they got enough time to be able to do what they needed to do, 14 minutes. Could have used maybe a little bit more, but I think 14 minutes would have been enough to give us that brutality that I did feel was missing. This didn't feel like a match that WWE was no longer being held liable for. You know, I'm not, a sicko that needs blood in his wrestling, but sometimes blood really does add to the narrative. And we even had a moment where Drew McIntyre is stabbing his forehead with the wrench, and no color seemed to be it almost felt like a lack of payoff based on how heated the feud really was, because it was a solid feud, all things considered, with everything that happened with the championship loss. But the match, like a lot of this WrestleMania, left a lot on the table.
I think like not having a video package explaining why these two hate each other probably hurt it too. Like if you're going into ESPN2 watching this, like why these dudes hate each other. And at the same time, they were creative with all their weapons, but it did feel like blood mode was turned off.
Yeah.
Who turned off the blood?
Probably ESPN.
What's going on here? ESPN turned it off, but and I think that's where this is the other theme that was missing. Like that third gear was missing. Like, okay, now both men have exhausted all options. Let's see where they go. And instead, it felt like, okay, Jacob put Drew on the table. Boom, boom, boom. That's it.
Yeah. Instead of like, okay, what's the like? Oh no way! It was all right. Let's go home. We got right. Hogan must pose again.
Yeah, right. And it didn't. It had we still have a lot of questions. I think still the biggest question is who attacked Jacob. I think we are going to get that answer with this Roman feud.
You think so?
I think that WWE's smart. It would put Roman in part of that, and Roman's like, I was trying to protect you. You weren't ready for this.
Protect him for what? From what?
I put you on the shelf, Oos. Do you think the tribal chief has explained himself? He doesn't have to do anything.
I don't know. I think Roman is going to be a babyface for the duration of this run. Sancho, I don't think they bring up the storyline. I really don't, especially if Jacob's moving to Raw. I think they drop it, dog. I really would it surprise you? Like really, would it surprise you? No, it'd be disappointing, but it would not surprise me if they fully dropped the storyline. And they took step one to drop the storyline, which is to not pay it off at Mania.
And making dreams come true.
And number two, moving him from the brand where it happened in the first place. Dude, they're dropping the storyline.
3, forget what. I think what you can do, they'll probably pay it off with a Danhausen segment. I got these gold teeth. I found them on the floor. Well, but yeah, overall the match was fine, and it was. I would say when I did my review on my channel, is I said that both ESPN matches set the table very nicely for their nights. Sure. Like it was like, ooh, here we go. And I got a lot of flack on X because my mind thinks in certain ways, but I don't count these parts as WrestleMania for some reason because they're free.
I wanted to not as well. I think I told myself the same lie that you told yourself that I wanted to believe was just like, oh, it can only get better now because the real show's about to begin. But then but then it didn't. Right. So it was just all part of the same show.
Yes, but for me, I think it's just a way to cleverly trick us to think like, hey, you could accept a premium WrestleMania with 5 matches, that you could continue doing free matches on television, and then the premium side. And people are like, well, no, it's all part of one show, like you were saying. But no, that's still the premium side. If you were a new customer, you're paying for those 5 matches. Do you see what I'm saying? You're paying for those 4 matches going forward. That does not include the 2 matches you just saw for free. So for me, the optics on that is the word of the day, is that stuff was pre-Mania, and this one's actual Mania that you're paying for free. And when I posted those things, like, oh, looks like we're getting 5 matches for a premium WrestleMania side of things. People are like, no, it's all together 7 matches. I don't see it that way. Man, I don't see it that way.
You got to remember too, though. You were classic American. It's all about us. It's all about me. I didn't get that experience, right? I was watching it on VPN.
I was watching it on VPN on Netflix.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, look at trying to be one of us internationals. For me, it did feel like just one show, right?
Okay.
If it was, hey, the first hour is only on ESPN/YouTube, and I have to go somewhere else that is less premium to watch it, like we used to with the pre-shows, where they had matches on the pre-shows on YouTube, I'd be a lot more on board with that take.
But you had to leave ESPN and ESPN2 to go to the ESPN app.
It was. But you could, if you had the ESPN app, it was on there too, dude.
But I know, but if you weren't a already existing customer, you would have to buy it, get the app, download it, then you're watching WrestleMania.
I think it's I think it's not too different than, I mean, to use something from your world. I don't think it's too different from Fortnite. You know, like, hey, here's the full game, but like, hey, you want the skins, you want the juice, you want the rock band thing. I don't know, man. I don't know how Fortnite works, but like, maybe Fortnite's not the right example, but there are obviously like freemium models where it's just like, okay, and then from here on out, here's the rest of the game.
Are you talking about like a demo? You buy the game demo?
Yeah. I think the game. Do they still do game demos?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, game demo. Yeah, I think a game demo is a good way to put it. Sure. But the game demo, it's the portion of the game that isn't worse. It's the game, right? But it's like you want the game. Damn it, we're so brain rotted to the core. But you want to continue this exact same game experience, you have to pay. But I didn't see it as a lesser experience because it was on ESPN. I that's never how I interpreted it.
Okay.
Here's my question to you though. I predicted things right accidentally. I said after WrestleMania, Jacob Fatu would go after the World Heavyweight Champion. He is. It's just I was expecting it to be CM Punk to continue the story of the Bloodline going after CM Punk before or after WrestleMania. I think it made sense, right?
Okay.
And he beat a world champion, all this stuff. He is going after a world champion, but it's Roman freaking Reigns now. We'll come back to WrestleMania because we're going to bob in and out with Raw after Mania as well. I think this is a good place to jump into that. Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns at Backlash, and the Roman Reigns promo that was very much, hey, Bloodline 2021, we're back. And now we've got this storyline of Jacob wanting what Roman has, and Roman basically saying, I'm going to beat the acknowledgement into you, which is very much 2020 early Bloodline. We're revisiting the greatest hits. We're now in the remaster version. Like, we've remastered the game.
Last of Us.
Yes. We're Last of Us remastered, the Bloodline remastered here. Give me your thoughts on this. The reunion of the Bloodline, going back to those old additives that did work in the 2020s and deciding to bring them back here. Roman going full time and Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns being the first feud. Give me your footnotes here.
You put it in the perfect little metaphor. It is the remaster because I think everything's better. Jimmy and Jay's better, especially Jay, right? Jay has those main event isms that he has in him that he could pull on. And at the same time, Jacob Fatu is a very seasoned competitor now in the WWE. He could cut a very solid promo that's more than just, I'm all gas, no breaks, right? He could weave in all those kind of catchphrases into a very organic promo. I like that. He's like, I want to take that watch. I want to take your private jet. I want it all. A la Solo Sikoa, and that he's going to take everything and put his whole family into a different tax bracket. I like all that, but what makes it so much better is I feel like Roman now understands who the freaking tribal chief is. Like when you look at the 2020 promo that he cut against Jay about all that, like, you're not ready for all this, you can't handle this. It is so much more refined in 2026 as the tribal chief going up against Jacob Fatu. And I like this idea that now that we know the past lore of the bloodline, how you could go, I don't trust Roman this time around because CM Punk said it. CM Punk, look, I apologize that Roman blindsided your entire family, that he lied to you, that he manipulated you too, Jimmy and Jay. But now we have that in our back of our mind if the WWE wasn't smart enough to tether all that. And now I'm going, okay, does Jimmy and Jay trust Roman fully? Are they going to turn on him once again? Because I don't think it's the greatest hits. I think it's building on the greatest hits by following the template. It's like what we all do as content creators, Santi. We go, oh, okay, the people actually like when we explore this way of telling the story, and the people love the way they told the story of the bloodline. I still think it's the richest story in the WWE, and I've said this a million times. It's because it's about family, man, and family hits harder, and it's echoed by Roman Reigns because he says, you're still my little cousin, right? I'll see you later, little cousin. Like, oh, yes. That's what you want, dude. That's the feeling you should have going forward. Like, okay, this is going to get nasty. And it could get nasty because you know why? You could get nasty with family. You could get a little bit more personable when it comes down to promos. With an outsider like CM Punk, he tried to get personable, and the bloodline did not like that, sir.
I'm in for a penny, in for a pound here. I like the idea.
What does that mean?
I don't actually know what it means. In for a penny,
Let's look it up.
In for a pound.
Let's look it up. We're gonna make ourselves. We have so much brain rot. We got to balance it out.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, I got it here. Used to express someone's intention to complete an enterprise once it has been undertaken. Oh, I get it. What?
Is that what you meant by it? Is that what you meant? Oh, when Jacob Fatu put it in his it's an enterprise.
Well, I the sentiment is I'm down to experience this, and I'm down to see it all the way through to the end here with Jacob Fatu. In for a penny, in for a pound. The penny is my interest, and the pound is seeing it all the way through to the end. So it does work here. I'm assuming the end goal is Jacob joining the bloodline.
Let me translate this for all
We're still on this.
Youths. The youths. It's diamond hands, baby. You have diamond hands, right?
Diamond hands.
Right? Okay, diamond hands. Come on, man. We got to educate. Go ahead.
What I don't want, Sancho, is for the entirety of Roman's time this summer, which is allegedly full time, to only be bloodline stuff, bringing in the bloodline together. Like, I don't want the next guy to be Solo or Tama Tonga.
Why not?
Because
reunite the bloodline.
But like, we have a limited amount of time here with Roman Reigns every single week, and I want to see other names, other faces. It'll eventually blow off with Oba Femi, but give me time for Gunther, give me time for Braun Breaker, give me time for Seth Rollins, give me time for all of those names as well. And if it's just, hey, this month it's Solo, this month it's Tala Tonga, I don't know that I'm on board for that particular. I'm in for less than a penny, and certainly not the full pound if that's the case.
I think if you get Solo, you get all the MFTs. It's like he's a the little bargain special. You get it all. He takes it all, you get it all. You get Solo, you get the MFTs.
Buy one, get 4 free.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Except Tama, who might not follow, right? That seems to be a narrative. But
I don't think Tama's about the following. I think Solo's about the kicking out. It's Solo's going to be choice to kick out Tama Tonga. A la very New Japan like type of situation there with Bullet Club. But dude, I'm all for this, and I think some people are maybe exhausted about the bloodline. I think you're in for a treat. I think they've learned a lot along the way. And honestly, if the person that produces it, Michael Hayes, he's pretty comfortable booking these matches, and they're pretty good to great, man. Some of the bloodline matches are great, good to great, and they tap into the masterclass every now and then. They're not awful, in my opinion. I remember when we watched, what did we watch? We watched a Roman match. We're like, I think this is one of the bloodline matches, when all of a sudden it just breaks down and out comes the bloodline. But we were like, no, this is way before all that. But then it happened. And we were like, oh, this is actually a pretty solid match. I forgot what it was. It
I
was a
can't
match
remember
club
what
match.
it was, but I know we watch one of those over on patreon.com/Santi.
Yeah, we watched one of those and we're like, oh, okay, this is a pretty solid match. And then out came Jimmy and Jay. And then it didn't feel like, it felt like, the Bloodline, back to where they are. Yes. But I do feel that if they do into the new era of this Bloodline, this new chapter, I'm hoping we get more clean finishes. Because that's what made CM Punk versus Roman so special, was that it was a clean finish, that Roman did it by himself. I made this tweet that you don't know about because you're petty and you blocked me for no reason because you think it's
not
hilarious.
petty, it's strategic, it's funny.
And it's all about
Look, it bothers him. It bothers him. And it makes it so much better.
You.
Oh, he's showing his hand.
About Santi's app, but we're just here all making you happy, Santi. Making you laugh. I said that this reminds me of LeBron going back to Cleveland when he winning the championship.
There's no way that you turned so ESPN that you unironically, I'm going to let you continue, but you unironically did the meme of how does this impact LeBron's legacy?
Yes, it does. But it makes sense because it's like the criticisms of Roman Reigns was he didn't wrestle enough in his 1,000-day reign plus, right? He always had the bloodline to help him. When he beat people with the help of so many people. Now, in this WrestleMania, which didn't really hit on, he's going up against the best in the world in CM Punk. And what happened when he went toe-to-toe with CM Punk with no family members behind him? He beat the best in the world. So I feel like that's his match of like, hey, I came back to Cleveland and I win. I don't need the big three. Sure. I don't need a rookie. I could do it on my own. I don't need Dwayne Wade. I could do it on my own to get the job done. And Roman did get the job done. So, but I'm hoping they stick to that because that builds so much credibility for Roman as a GOAT.
One of the things that I said in the review on Patreon and YouTube is that, and we'll talk more about the Roman Reigns main event as well, is that it felt like a reset of what we should expect from Roman Reigns moving forward. Because one of the beauties of the main event was that I was waiting for the shenanigans and then it never came. And then it was like this, like, you know the scene in Ratatouille where the guy eats the soup and it reminds him of like his childhood and his mom and all of these great things? Not having the interference gave me that moment like, is this what a WrestleMania Night 2 main event is like since without shenanigans? We haven't had one since WrestleMania 38, dude. So to me, it told me, it's like, I think this is the reset of what to expect from Roman matches. That it isn't just going to be shenanigans. If you think about it, with Fatu, shenanigans make no sense at all whatsoever, right? The Usos are babyface, Fatu's babyface, Roman is babyface. For the Usos to come in and attack Jacob Fatu, it makes no sense at all whatsoever. So I'm actually going into that Backlash match now, wanting another taste of that soup and being brought back to, again, that era of no shenanigans.
It's not a soup. It was a ratatouille, sir. It's not a soup.
What is a ratatouille? I thought that was the name of the rat.
It's like a.
Is it not? Is the rat not named Ratatouille?
No, it's Remy. Remy the rat, dude.
It's not like Remy Ratatouille. Why does it start with rat? Ratatouille. It would just make sense, no?
It's a play on words.
Why would they name the movie after a dish and not just the Remy? That's stupid. His name should just be Ratatouille. It should just be, come on, brother. Get on board with this. His name should be Ratatouille.
Like, wait, if I listen to a wrestling podcast?
Get in this car with me, brother. Tell me you agree his name should have been Ratatouille.
No.
You're off the Ratatouille train.
What do you want to call the Little Mermaid? Not call her Ariel? Call her the Little Mermaid? Or that should be Little Mermaid, dude.
Well, people call her the Little Mermaid, don't they?
I guess.
Just like maybe he should be Remy the Ratatouille.
Let's call Cody. Why is his name Cody? He should just be called the Undisputed. Why call him Cody?
All right, let's move on.
So if it's babyface versus babyface, I think the logical thing is that when Roman wins, he collects another Pokemon and Jacob Fatu becomes part of his crew, right?
Go, Jacob Fatu! Yadamin! Yadamin!
Yadamin! Jacob used taunt. It's very effective.
All right, let's move on to the next match. But before we do, a quick word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. SummerSlam tickets will be going on sale soon, and if you don't plan things accordingly, then you might find yourself overpaying for these tickets if you're not careful. If you plan on going to the show, then I hope that you intend on getting the best price possible. And you can do that thanks to today's podcast sponsor, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app, and for a very good reason. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and so much more. And with SeatGeek, you can be certain that you're going to be getting the absolute best possible price on whatever seats you want at whatever show you plan to attend. All WWE premium shows, as well as Raw and SmackDown tickets, are all available on SeatGeek as well, so make sure that you stop by there first so you can ensure that you're getting the best possible price. What's nice is that SeatGeek actually shows you if you're getting a good deal or not whenever you're browsing their tickets, so you're going to want to look for the green dots, because green dots means a great deal and red means not such a great deal. And you can breathe easy because all of their tickets are backed by their buyer guarantee as well. And you know that we here at Wrestling is Cool are going to hook you guys up, because you can use code WIC10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. Again, that's 10% off any tickets with promo code WIC10. That's WIC10. So make sure that you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so that you can use it later. Thank you again to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Now let's get you back to talking about wrestling. Unless you're a patron, you didn't have to hear that.
Thank you. Mr. Thumbnail delivers another sponsor, brother. I'm here to save the pod. Have you noticed the numbers have been going all the way up with my face doing this?
Totally not WrestleMania season. Yeah, I should have waited till the fall and seen the numbers go down like they do every fall, so I could have blamed your stupid face on it.
I like how your editor gave me the Roman veneers. Thanks.
All right, let's move on here. We had the Women's Tag Team Championship match. 8 women here. We had the Bella Twins that were originally announced. Irresistible Forces, Charlexa, Bailey, and Lyra Valkyria. Nikki Bella, I felt really bad for her, man. She was not able to make it in time back for WrestleMania. And then the reveal was a returning Paige to a thunderous pop. The whole match was basically surrounded and waiting for the Paige hot tag. But because of the short amount of time, the only like memorable moment in this match, if you ask me, is Charlotte and Paige in the ring together. Yes. They really built to that moment.
Oh.
And it was thunderous. But again, there were 9 women a part of this match, if you include Nikki Bella on the outside. I cannot tell you what most of those women did in this match because of the short amount of time and the amount of bodies in there trying to get in their spot.
Excuse me, the whole thing, the crossbody from Paige and Lyra caught her and tried to put her in her Nightwing and then gets countered into the Paige turner.
It was fine. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I want to see Lyra and Paige, dude. I want to see that match. I absolutely I know you said you're not a Paige-ite or a Paige turner.
I like Paige. I'm not like, whoo, yeah, let's go Paige. Yeah.
I absolutely like Paige. I am that person that's gung-ho about her because she's just something about her, dude, that just feels like not only who she was in the Diva era, but at the same time, this idea that she just came back from those neck injuries and she had no indication that she was going to come back from the WWE. She went to AEW, became a champion, and then you're like, well, she became a champion, but did anyone care that she became a champion? And she felt like she was just like this someone out there collecting dust, this old shell of herself, and AEW didn't really click with the AEW crowd. And then when she comes back in the WWE, instantly is as if she never left. And dude, she looked great in that ring. And I love that her moveset works so well. That Rampage, the finisher, looked devastating against Alexa.
I love that finisher. It was so good.
So good. And then you didn't tear up? You didn't get a little goosebumpy when she said, "This is my house"? I'm like, oh yes, it is, Paige. This is what I'm talking about.
Dude, I liked it. I liked it all. I always liked other women more than Paige, even during the height of Paige's run. And it was the same thing in AEW. I'm like, but I like Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter more. And but I like Charlotte and Becky and Sasha more. I was always like, but it was never like, I don't like Paige, right? I do want to make that clear. I was never like that. I I will.
He turned off the TV when you showed up, Paige.
No, don't start this. Dude. I'm gonna say all kinds of things to Oba Femi when I run into him. I think it's gonna be more difficult. I think he's not gonna be doing interviews. I think he's getting larger than life. We'll get there. Maybe a little bit of a hot take. I would have preferred Paige at Raw After Mania because Raw After Mania didn't feel like Raw After Mania. Had Raw After Mania got the return of Paige, I love how like last year we got the return of Rusev. I think this Raw After Mania would have been a lot more memorable. Very cool nonetheless that clearly WWE sees value in Paige to the point where it's like, not only are we bringing you back, but we're bringing you back at WrestleMania and we're bringing you back to win gold. I think they could have made room for somebody not Paige that was grinding in that women's tag team division that could have gotten that moment or that opportunity to be on the WrestleMania stage. As opposed to Paige, who was not part of at all of this grind of the tag team division and then comes back to win. Here's the thing. Here's my one disappointment of this, Sancho. And I'm criticizing. I'm nitpicking. I really am. I really like this. But this is what this is about.
Short match, though. Hard to nitpick in short match. Yeah.
So I'm not even nitpicking the match. I'm kind of nitpicking like more so like the decisions around this. I think it's a little bit disappointing that the women's tag team division grinded so hard for like the better part of a year to get onto the WrestleMania card. And the ones that walk out with the WrestleMania moment are a non-tag team that just joined the WWE, one that day, and the other one only at the Royal Rumble. Everyone else that was in that match has been cooking in the tag team division, demanding from their performances that this division get on the WrestleMania card, and none of those people got their moment. Nitpick. I just want to say that.
I do feel adding Paige to the tag team division will get more eyeballs to the tag team division, and we'll see how it plays out on SmackDown. I have good hopes. High hopes.
I think hopes is a good thing to have. I think hopes are good.
Oh, wasn't that in the Star Wars trailer? The first one when they brought back the trilogy? Hope. Ding.
I mean, it literally was just a remake of A New Hope with new people. Oh, God. What have they done to Star Wars, my man?
What are you talking about, dude? Did you see Mando made it to Mania, dude?
And shout out to Grogu getting his spotlight at WrestleMania, getting more of a shine than most of the roster.
Mando went, I got 2 tickets, one for me, one for him.
I got tickets.
Yeet.
We have Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Becky Lynch winning back the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This is another one of those matches, Sancho, that's like, how is this only 8 minutes? This one's a bit more egregious than some of the other ones because this is the 4th match in a feud that's been going on for 8 months. It is a blood feud at this point. And their previous singles match at a lesser show got 15 minutes. So for it to be cut in half is peculiar to say nonetheless. But I will say that this match was able to get its stuff in from a physical perspective, I believe, and even tell the story of Crooked Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch. Classic Crooked Carr.
Very Mexican wrestling, right?
That's interesting that you say that. I kind of had that same feeling as well.
Right? The AAA referee that always
yes.
goes like, ooh, it's not going to be good that this person.
For those that don't know what Sancho is talking about, referees in many matches, almost also like more so women's matches, by the way, they become characters within the match and sometimes clearly pick a favorite, do fast counts. And that's what Sancho's talking about. Like Crooked Carr was very much a character in this match.
Indeed. I do feel that because of that, I didn't feel like it was about AJ Lee, you know?
Fair.
I didn't feel like AJ Lee wasn't in that ring to that point. And I feel like the things that how that match was produced, that AJ Lee would overcome that on a weekly basis anyway, but she couldn't do it this time around. I wasn't when it's explaining why in ring that she couldn't get through it this time around. And it just felt like it was just for a feud that's been going on for 8 months to get played out in 8 minutes was a bummer.
Absolutely. And I think it's the theme of night one here. Bummer. No follow-up on Monday Night Raw either. I think that's a shame. I'm of the mind that I would have preferred Becky Lynch celebrating, and Sol Ruka interrupts Becky Lynch as opposed to interrupting Liv Morgan. Think about it, right? Think about it. Wouldn't that have hit? I think that would have hit a little bit more. And I would have thought that, like, especially with how Sol Ruka came out, she was cutting the exact same promo that Paige cut when she debuted and won the women's championship. I absolutely would have seen a world where Sol Ruka debuts, talks to Becky, says, "You're an inspiration. You're a 4 horsewoman. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps. You're the man, Becky Lynch." And Becky Lynch says, "Nah, get out of here, blah, 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 blah." Impromptu match for the IC title. Sol Ruka wins, and you pay off Crooked Car there. And Crooked Car does something to help Sol Ruka win here. That's my headcanon that I think would have been a little bit better.
Talk about fantasy booking. That's a rocket to the moon right there. But at the end of the day, what do you see the match for Backlash for Becky? I just wish it was just Jessica Carr versus Becky Lynch. It's like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, brother. Like, let's just get this thing over with, because I can't watch another Becky Lynch match with Jessica Carr being
Crooked Car
there in the. I'm telling.
Call her what she is.
Call her what she is. I just feel that when it comes down to having referees be the focus, like they do in Triple A, you do feel those mommy's way.
All right, let's move on here. One of the best matches of the weekend, we were treated to Gunther versus Seth Rollins in a singles match that ended with Gunther sleeping Seth Rollins off the back of the return of Braun Breaker, who took out Seth Rollins, threw him back into the ring, and Gunther put him in the sleeper hold. I've been dominating a lot of the starting conversation, so I want to defer to you here for this one, for the opener.
I feel like Gunther and Seth were something that we never was supposed to get, and that we got, and it delivered on all fronts. We were like, yes, they would have in-ring chemistry. They did. They checked that box off. Boom. It did have a great meshing as well of in-ring chemistry. Like, it felt very pleasant to the eyes to watch the hard-hitting style of Gunther. Seth Rollins be able to take that, dish it back to Gunther, suplex Gunther, like put Gunther in different situations that he hasn't appeared in. And I like that the same thing when Gunther was able to apply the pressure. If you see it, you feel it. You can apply the pressure to Seth Rollins in a very strong way too. So it was the only thing that was missing for me is I never got this was champion versus champion. I never felt like they were former champions and that they could, at any moment, one of them could win, because it felt like Seth Rollins was the one that was leading the charge and Gunther wasn't as on the same level at some times. And then for it to go down into a predictable Braun Breaker thing, I think a lot of people did not like that shenanigan ending, but I went into that event expecting Braun Breaker. So when he came out, I was like, yes, check that box off as well. Here comes Braun Breaker. And when he destroyed Seth Rollins, I was like, okay, we're cool. We basically got a for free match that has so much fallout that it's going to be perfect for the weeks into PLEs to come. We got Gunther getting that favor cash-in chip for Paul Heyman. He has in his back pocket. He goes like, that's between me and Paul. Don't worry about the favor. And then we got the Braun Breaker getting his comeback on Seth Rollins. And then that played out on Monday Night Raw in a very spectacular way with the Vision reunited with Braun Breaker cutting that promo against Seth Rollins. And then the Street Profits came back like, wait a minute. Yeah. Who left the door open from catering? Here it comes the Street Profits. Out they come, and I'm excited that they're back. And I'm happy for them to come back because they were sorely missing. If they're going to do something with that tag team division, sure, the Street Profits could definitely help the Vision and the belts. But we got Braun Breaker destroying Seth Rollins again, and with that gnarly gash on the back of his head because Seth Rollins smacked him right in the back of the head. So all that, if you took WrestleMania and Raw After Mania and you put it together, you got yourself a good stew. You know what I mean? You got yourself a good thing. On its own, fine. Yeah. I gave it an A as when I graded it because it was like, it didn't offend me. It didn't have any kind of weird situations.
Offend you? What did you think the match was going to? Sancho sucks. The match goes, you're not allowed.
No, it didn't offend me where it tried to overprotect people. It protected people in the right way, you know? Gunther was able to sleep Seth, so he could always say, I slept you, Rollins, or Colby, I slept you. And then Braun Breaker looks strong at the end of the day, and then Seth Rollins is protected in the match because he gets interfered on. So I thought all parties were protected well, and it wasn't like, oh, Rollins has a busted rib going into this match. He's not 100% type of deal, you know? Yeah. They let both people be their apex.
Yeah, I think for like if you want to be a negative Nancy, you can say that the way they protected them was just predictable. But like, how else were you going to do it, right? How the outcome we knew was always Braun Breaker. So to complain that we
breaks, the
maybe
turnbuckle breaks,
sure.
and then Seth Rollins lies on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that definitely would have landed well. But you and everybody knew that it was Braun Breaker coming in, and I can understand if that took away from the enjoyment of the match because you kind of knew what the twist was going to be. But like, I want to remind people of what the alternative here was, which was literally nothing, which is to just not get this match. And I don't like that reality. I much prefer getting the banger match with the predictable ending as opposed to getting nothing, because this match absolutely did cook. Funny enough, Sancho, one of the longer matches, and I still think they undercut it by like 5 minutes. I still think there was room to do more with this match, because when I look at Seth Rollins and Gunther under a regular PLE, they're getting 20 plus minutes. So to be under 20 minutes, it still did feel like this match had another gear. This was on pace to be an all-time classic at WrestleMania.
Like if there was like another 5-6 minutes after Braun Breaker left type of vibe.
Yeah, and now it's like Seth Rollins trying to fight his way up after getting speared and whatnot. Still with the same ending, but I don't know. Just give it. It would have also given us a lot more of the fighting Bushido moment that was never in this match. It really was just, hey, we're just gonna have a great match.
You think Gunther smells good?
I think he does. I think anybody that gels their hair the way that he does, they smell good.
Yeah, right.
Like their gel itself probably smells good.
Yeah, it has like that little fragrance, but not like too strong. Just enough to smell like that clean, like maybe like an ocean breeze, maybe an oak.
Just the right amount of baby oil.
Do you wear cologne?
When it's socially acceptable, I do, yeah.
When is it socially acceptable? Or question, when is it unacceptable to wear cologne?
I think it's unacceptable to wear cologne if you're going on like a train, subway, and you're packed in there with a ton of people. Not everybody has the a lot of people have a sensitive nose to that stuff, and it's not a pleasant experience if you have a sensitive nose to that stuff.
Is it unacceptable to wear cologne at a gym?
I think deodorant should be your play. I think if you're wearing cologne at the gym, you're masking the fact that you smell like crap, and you should just not smell like crap. You should wear deodorant and be bathed when you go to the gym. That's more respectful than you at the gym. You should not smell. You shouldn't smell good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you see that guy that posted on I think on X and IG? He sat next to the same person both nights, and both nights they didn't wear deodorant.
Oh God. I didn't see that, dude. That would make me so angry. There's nothing worse than a smelly person.
In the sense where in a public place, you could be smelly all you want in your house, dude. I don't want to care.
Yeah, do your thing. But like, yeah, you got to be considerate.
And the fact that they were like both nights in a row. I'm sorry, dude. I'm a five senses type of person. If one of those senses are off, I'm having a bad time.
I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. Let's move on to the shortest match of the night, which was a 6 minute and 50-second match between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquette for the Women's World Championship. We have a new Women's World Champion. Sancho, I knew this match was going to be rushed the moment that in the first 2 minutes we got the Devil's Kiss, and it didn't get countered. It was a tell. And another one of those tells existed in another match. Sami Zayn hitting the Blue Thunder Bomb in the first 2 minutes. I started to understand what's happening here. Oh, they're making sure they get their stuff in because they're about to get yoinked for more Hulk Hogan commercials here. And this was very clear and apparent right off the rip. Oblivions in the first 3 minutes. Is Stephanie hitting an Oblivion within the first 3 minutes? Devil's Kiss, not countered, because it's always countered by the heel the first time. It's like, boo, boo. And then we get it again later on in the third quarter of the match. But no, this was, boom, Devil's Kiss right off the bat. The biggest tell that this was going to get rushed.
It's like Undertaker hitting a chokeslam right out the gate. You're like, oh, okay, this match is over soon.
Yeah, we're going home.
I do think that's what I mean. Like the rhythms of the matches felt so off and so truncated. And I think like for this match that had the most intensity. And for me, when I graded my matches, Santi, for my channel, I was like, did it match the build? It did, in a sad way, because they had no time to build anything and they had no time to do anything here at Mania. So when it felt like when Stephanie Vaquette got vanquished with a simple distraction into Oblivion, we're like, wait a minute, we see this on Monday Night Raw all the time. We see this on SmackDown all the time. This is how the finishes happen. Usually the babyface is able to overcome the distractions, but then it's just a little bit too much. But here it didn't feel that way because she was like, punch Roxy, punch Raquel. Haha, she did it. Oh, it fell into oblivion, and that's it. But you look at that Sol Ruca match versus Liv Morgan. It was a longer match, of course, but it's told a better story because Sol Ruca was able to fend off Judgment Day, right? Raquel and Roxy. But then Zarya came out and she was unable to overcome that. She beats the 10 count, barely gets in the ring, then gets an oblivion. Better story told there. Here, I feel like the story is going to be told at Backlash. I think seeing their stare down, having Raquel standing between them, that was interesting.
That was on purpose, right?
That was on purpose. Maybe we get a triple threat. I don't know. I don't want a triple threat because I feel like I still didn't get what I paid for WrestleMania. I'm still holding on to that receipt.
I hear you.
You ever gone back to a place with a receipt from a day ago, like, hey, I didn't get this item, or you just let it go?
I never let it go. Dude, let it go? I never let it go. And sometimes it'll be like a $2 item that I order on like Uber Eats. It's like, I got everything except my small fries. No, I am going to go into the app and talk to somebody. I know I'm going to get 99 cents back, but it's the principle. Partly because in my mind, I believe the driver stole it. That's what I tell myself. Like, this guy is driving away eating my fucking fries. So I'm not gonna pay for his meal today. I'm gonna get that money back. Come on, it must go through your head too.
It's all about you, Santi.
Hey, don't steal my fries. Don't steal my fries.
All about, and you know what? Wrestling stole our fries, our burger, and our soda. Did you see some of the food at the stadium? The $18 for an Italian sandwich that was bare bones, brother. $20 for nachos that were just chips and cheese. What are we talking about?
I did see they had like a special tomahawk steak. How much did that cost?
$145, sir.
What? Dude, first and foremost, that is not the atmosphere to be eating tomahawk steaks. Yeah, you're trying to yeet as you got your steak. I didn't do it into your paper plate. Oh,
I did. I would be afraid to choke on that while I'm watching wrestling. I would 100% choke on that. I would die. What a worse way. I'd rather choke on a glizzy than choke on a steak.
No, give me the steak. You can have the glizzy. Give me the steak. Dude, if I die choking on a glizzy, I need you, and you're the only witness, I need you to go into my throat, remove the glizzy, and put a steak in there.
I'll put another phallic
5 glizzies in there.
He was going for a record, man. I'm sorry. I told him how many glizzies you could put in your mouth. He was like, I'm going to put 10. And then on the 5th one, he fucking died. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Santi. I'm sorry.
Oh, mijo.
Oh, mijo.
All right, let's get to the main event of night one. We have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Yeah, we're already there, Brand.
Yeah,
for the WWE Undisputed Championship, a match that was built in the most bizarre way. Randy Orton goes out there with Pat McAfee. The match starts off with Pat McAfee beating down Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes very easily fends him off, as he should, because it's Pat McAfee trying to attack Cody Rhodes. Crossroads him. Sends him to the outside. Jelly Roll spawns like a PlayStation 2 avatar. He's just there.
And your heart went.
And then he steps off the table to deliver a elbow drop at a reasonable height that is not the same height of the top turnbuckle, which was a great spot. And I tweeted this. The Council of Santis acknowledges the spot, but it does not grant you the title of a top rope maneuver. I'm sorry, Jelly. It's just not it.
You disgust me. You're disappointing. I knew you'd take the easy way out.
It's not the easy way out.
For this one WrestleMania 42, for everything to be stolen from us, for time to be taken away from us, you could have swooped in and saved WrestleMania Night 1.
It was on my hands to save Mania.
You had the opportunity for the people to go, at least we got Santi the oil up. And I dare disagree with you about the top rope. In 2K, when you pull that move, that's considered a top rope move, okay? When you press the button sequence, that's a top rope move. And dare I say, even though they're both competitors, started off on the same line of the verticality, that when Jelly Roll jumped off the table, landed on his opponent, he landed further down, thus landed from a top higher level down to a lower, thus
not to the height of the top rope.
You didn't say in your thing. You didn't
Yes,
say
we
the
did.
height.
We literally said from the top rope. Literally him. His quote is, "If I can do any move from the top rope, you have to oil up." And I shook hands. Listen, Sancho, here's the thing. I am not a fearful, evil god. I'm a benevolent one. I am not willing to win on a technicality, but I'm also not willing to lose on a bad technicality. What's a technicality that I'm willing to lose on? If he jumped off a ladder. Not necessarily even the top of the ladder, but a ladder rung that's just as high as the top rope. I would have been okay with that. Had he jumped off the top of a crane.
You would have dead.
I'm willing to accept things. I didn't need it to be a top rope. I needed to be the same verticality of the top rope. That's how this all started in the first place. And listen, my man, that is not as high as the top rope in any way, shape, or form. Otherwise, the commentators must be 7'10" giants to be able to see over it, including that billionaire who sat in the commentary table.
Your Honor, the delegation would like to reframe what occurred here before. The line was, you did say any top move on the top rope, correct? Any move on the top rope?
Top rope.
That does, from what I understand, that doesn't mean he has to jump off of it. You said any move from the top rope, him standing on the top rope. Like say, what happens if he stands up there and he does like a one punch? Does that qualify, Your Honor, as any move from the top rope?
The language, Your Honor, I do declare, I would like to strike from the record what Monsignor Sancho is saying here. The language did not say any move from the top rope. The language, Your Honor, said any move from the top rope. Therefore, implying that it is going from the top rope to somewhere not the top rope, Your Honor. And I think any rational being would indicate that that is the ring, Your Honor. I do declare that the delegation of Monsignor Sancho is just simply incorrect in the interpretation of the legal language.
Your Honor, I do believe your client, the client of Santiago, wants Jelly Roll dead. He suggested Jelly to jump off a ladder, Jelly to jump off a crane, Jelly to jump off a shark cage. But, Your Honor, I think he wants him dead. I think he wants to pull him off a coast to coast, maybe.
Listen. Again, I'll do it, but like, listen.
I got it.
You don't want it this way. You don't want it with there being a fog of war. You want the definitive, I have to oil up.
Jelly, I know you listen to this pod, and if you are listening, just do a Vader bomb, do a swagger bomb, do that. That's all you got to do. It's simply you stand. Does that count? If he's standing, he does a Vader bomb.
I don't need him to do a freaking top rope splash. If he's on the top rope and then from there he just falls, he just splashes, I'll take it. Again, I'm not willing to win on technicalities, but I'm not going to lose on one either.
So look, a swagger bomb is perfect for you, Jelly. You're just standing there and you bounce for a little bit and then you jump backwards and you splash them. That's it.
It's got to have the height of the top rope, though. You think he can get enough spring?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. What you could even do an annihilator, Jelly. Would that count?
That's middle rope.
Drop?
That's a middle rope move. Top rope maneuver. Sancho, the letter of the law has to be precise so as to there not be any complications or confusions for future interpretations of the law. Last I checked, I have a minor in legal studies. I'm basically a lawyer.
Your Honor, I do declare that I do believe that Santi buy body oil in case this was going to happen.
I was ready. I was ready. I am a man that is willing to deliver, but I'm also not going to deliver on something that just is not correct, Sancho. It would not have been in the spirit, Your Honor. And spirit is all that we have, Your Honor. What is a human without the soul?
All I know is you had a chance, brother, to be the most talked about thing on WrestleMania 42.
Dude, my stream peaked when he did that. There was no moment across night 1 or night 2 where I had more views than when Jelly Roll went through the table.
I'm telling you, you had a chance. You had a chance. Instead, you probably want this big pomp and circumstance, look at me, Santi moment. You want your own WrestleMania. You want to rent out an entire arena. You want to like a bunch of matches undercard, and then the main event is Santi only. That's what you want. That's what you want.
We did talk about doing an indie show.
That would be kind of sick, though.
And the ending is just me oiling up, no music. It's just quiet in the ring. No commentary. Oh, gross. Oh yeah, there was also a match between Cody and Randy, by the way, which you didn't like. You said.
What would be your interest music? For your oiling.
Oh, for my oiling. Oh man, I didn't even think about it that much. I'll have to get back to you on that.
I walk alone inside this pit of oil. I walk alone.
You got the Danhausen cannon is just shooting oil at people.
Yeah, dude. I do declare. I didn't like this match because it personified what the build was, and the build wasn't beautiful. It was janky, and that was what we got. I'm starting to learn more and more in this era of wrestling that the build will play out. The match will be played out what the build wrote for. The script of the match is what the build set up. The lines of the match would be what was in the build. So when I talk about CM Punk and Roman later, that build was reflected by the match very well. And the same thing with this one is that build, you had too many cooks in the kitchen. You had the involvement of Pat McAfee. You had Cody Rhodes trying to make it about the 20-year lore between him and Randy. You had all these outside factors that did exactly what happened. The match starts off, okay, let's give the people what they want. No Pat McAfee. And then for me, I was like, well, wait a minute. That became the most interesting part of this build is Pat McAfee. And you took that off the table, and then you reverted back to a Graps match that we saw in the King of the Ring where Randy is favoring the back the whole time. Can Cody Rhodes take advantage? And this time Cody's wrestling as a heel. Randy's a babyface. Very confusing there. And then it wraps back around the corner, brings back Pat McAfee when both Cody and Randy said, it's not about Pat, it's about us. And Pat does end up being part of the finish. So it's like, what are we doing? Too confusing. And then to add to the double confusement, triple confusement, you go out to the end, Cody standing tall, holding the belt up, and then Randy punt kicks him. And I'm like, I've been waiting for this moment for 3 years. And I didn't feel the magic of it. I didn't feel that, it just felt like, oh, that happened. And then he stands tall at the end. You're like, wait, so this is going to keep going at Backlash? It didn't feel like a conclusion. It didn't feel like a moment to where you could go like, oh, okay, this happened, moving on, or the book is closed. It felt like a, let's wipe everything that we did. Let's go through all the crap that we went through in this prologue. And now we're going to start the whole thing between Cody and Randy. And I'm interested to see what happens on SmackDown for Randy's reply, because he had to be watching all the CM Punk and Cody loving. And I'm sure that he's going to say, hey, you're not done with me. Granted, I know that there's outside business dirt sheets saying that he may be injured, that Cody may be injured with the eye, that they may put them on the shelf for a bit. But the story being told at WrestleMania is that Randy Orton is not done with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I echo everything you're saying. I think I liked when Pat McAfee was removed. And by the way, I told you that the best way to make Jelly like the ultimate babyface is him be the reason Pat McAfee gets removed before the match even begins. I freaking called that like to a beat here on the podcast. I wasn't expecting Pat McAfee to come back. It was pretty funny seeing him come back looking like Johnny Bravo, blonde hair, sunglasses, ref shirt, and neck brace. It was pretty funny. I liked when Pat McAfee wasn't there. I liked what they were telling there. Cody is being methodical. Cody was working heel. He's working the injury. Randy Orton is kind of the one being victimized. They were kind of telling the tale of a double turn, like kind of happening in the moment, right? Right down to the ending where Randy Orton does the most babyface thing you could do, which is turn away the devil on your shoulder that's been yapping at you the whole time and RKO him. Ultimate babyface thing to do, which is his demise in Cody taking advantage one more time and picking up the victory. I actually like the in-ring narrative that happened there. I want to echo something that you're saying, the disjointment of this. This isn't the first time that we've dealt with this, Sancho. The last time that we dealt with this was also TKO, where Cena turned heel. We had the ending of WrestleMania 41. We know Rock. You had Travis Scott out there. What was the payoff? The payoff happened many months later when they knew they couldn't get their payoff, so they just said, Cena's just babyface. We didn't get the build up to that. They were just like, we just need to fix this. But it took them 5 months to make that decision to let's just freaking fix this. Let's just reset this. I, to a degree, appreciate them deciding, I know it's the WrestleMania main event, but we know this is going nowhere with TKO. Let's just reset it here. Let's just start again. Let's start again. Let's treat this as if this is the first time Randy's turning heel. How do we do this? By turning him babyface in the match, and then after during the celebration, turn him heel, and we're just resetting all of these issues. Because we have to find a way to move on from TKO, to move on from Pat McAfee, because we learned from the Cena thing where, like, if we just keep waiting, it might never pay off, and we're just going to have to pull the parachute anyway in a way that makes no sense. So we might as well pull the parachute in a way that makes no sense now, so that once Mania is over, we can tell the story of vicious Randy that pulled out the punt against Cody Rhodes, who seemed all disheveled, looking like bum-ass Corbin. That's me trying to be optimistic about it, because I know what happened last time where we waited. Holy crap, there's no payoff. We just got to pull the chute. Cena babyface, and let's tell the end of the story and go home. At least they pulled the chute early.
It just feels like that you're meeting it halfway.
I'm trying to. I am absolutely trying to here.
And I think for me, I'm just sticking to what they told me leading up to this. Didn't match for what played out in the ring. And then when it tried to get me back involved, they cut the thing that I was kind of interested in, and then they try to bring it back again. It ends with like, tune in next PLE to see what happens with Randy and Cody. I'm like, but I'm at Mania, brother.
Yeah.
I'm at Mania. And how can you have a Mania that does not have Cody Rhodes standing tall? Like he beat Randy Orton, and were you afraid that he'd be booed or something, that he did it because he took advantage of another situation? I'm not enjoying this idea of like Randy is oh man, Randy's an opportunist, because Cody's an opportunist because it's not working for Cody Rhodes, the story of the Golden Boy, in my opinion.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Let's move on to night 2. Sancho, you can talk about Oba Femi. You just can't enjoy it. We have Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Immediately right off the rip, Sancho, would you... Actually, I think this just kind of works with a lot of the matches that we have here. I feel like this one was one of those, and many of them were hurt by it being West Coast time, daytime. Like I think of like Oba's entrance, not looking like a full silhouette, and a lot of people's entrance, including the Demon Finn Balor as well, being in the daytime. I do feel like it was kind of hindered by that, at least the presentation. But I think they made the right call here with this being on ESPN with 5 minutes. What do you think? I'm going to let you be the reason the pod is bad because you don't want to talk. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
But you said I'm not allowed.
I said you're not allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed to talk.
That's not the story I get told every single time that I cannot name appears on my screen. I get told I'm not allowed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're not allowed to enjoy it.
No. That's not what people say. They say you're not allowed, period. And then they say general admission.
General admission, I go, which means you can talk about it. We talked about this. I gave you the rundown of what general admission is.
No. You okay. You understand that you are the mastermind here, right? You send out your drones, your Santi Slammers, the Santi bots. You send them out to me, and they only remember one thing. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. But they forget the most important part, that I am allowed. So you understand? So if you want my real commentary on this, sophisticated commentary that you can never pull because you like to predict WrestleMania 50, if you want that, you're going to have to go to my YouTube channel, Sancho West Wrestling.
Okay, I guess we can move on from this match if you don't want to have a conversation about this then.
It's you that doesn't want to have a conversation.
Oh, no, I'm happy to have a conversation. I just didn't know you were so salty and angry about this that you're willing to kill the pod. Again, I am not going to take the blame for the pod dying here because Sancho is all angry and in his feelings because people are telling him he's not allowed on the Oba Femi train. I'm not going to take that. It's going to be you. So if you want to move on from this, say we can move on.
I would echo what the people said after our podcast last week is that the bit is getting old. And it is.
Two people said it. And if it was getting old, you wouldn't have hundreds of people telling you not allowed. You are trying to create this narrative with the couple of people that actually want to listen to it's getting old, that the couple of Sancho maniacs out there, you want to lean on the two comments that said that, but the literal thousands of people telling you not allowed tells me that we actually have a fun meme here that you want to kill because it hurts your feelings to be as wrong and to feel as bad and as dumb as you ultimately were by making a opinionated decision about Oba Femi with no facts and haven't even watched a single episode of NXT. I'm sorry, brother. You gotta reap the rewards of the grave that you shoveled yourself. So if you don't want to talk about it, we can move on. I'll happily move on, but you got to tell us to move on.
What I will talk about is the retirement of Brock Lesnar. I do feel when it comes to Brock Lesnar, speaks volumes to retire here. I just said this with Denise, who allows me to talk about Oba. Awesome. When it comes down to what happened with Brock and Oba, when Brock decided here's the place I retire, so much better than Gunther. Gunther doesn't need Brock. His bubble is so massive that you don't even know who's going to be able to bust it. And it's going to break under its own weight, I feel, at some point. And if he would have retired Gunther and by Brock, that would have sucked so bad. Because the lasting image of Brock Lesnar's career shouldn't be going to sleep like John Cena. It shouldn't be like that with AJ. It's not Brock Lesnar, right? That doesn't scream Brock Lesnar to me. What does scream Brock Lesnar is going down to another entity, another beast, another forming of a monster. And I thought like that was the right choice. And also as well, it's like this is the most traditional thing of wrestling, that it should come out of nowhere, that no one predicted it. It's only that like him, maybe Heyman, because I don't think he who I cannot name knew about it either. Big shock in my face. I appreciate you, by the way. 800,000 views on that tweet. Thank you so much. I would have to say that what makes the magic night of wrestling, and that is the only magical thing that happened at WrestleMania 42, was the moment happened, we're like, damn, they made that decision, and then all of a sudden he's just sitting in the middle of the ring, and the emotion starts overcoming. It's like seeing your dad cry, right? You don't expect this beast to cry, and all of a sudden he's taking off the gloves, and immediately we all knew, like, oh no, this is for real. Last time he took off his gloves in the middle of the ring, it was standing across the ring from Cody Rhodes, and he was taking off his gloves, and we were like, oh my God, he's going to fight Cody, and then he gave Cody a hug. This time, starts taking off the gloves, starts taking off the boots. And for me, for Brock to say that he's that guy, that the other dude across the ring is that dude, that's awesome. That speaks volumes. And that kind of tells me that it was Brock's decision and not WWE and TKO's decision. Because WWE and TKO wants to make money off of Brock Lesnar. And they had the money pot right around that freaking corner in Minnesota, SummerSlam, 2 nights. Imagine all the advertisement you're going to do. And what does Brock Lesnar does best? What Brock Lesnar always does? He takes his ball and he went home. And he did it in the way that I don't think anyone would have a problem with. It's not like Stone Cold Steve Austin taking his ball and going home and not putting Brock over, right? This is not that same situation. This is Brock Lesnar making the decision to put Oba Femi over rather than putting Gunther over, who doesn't need it.
Can I change your analogy of he took his ball and went home? I want to change it to he went home and left everyone else to play with the ball. He went home and gave Oba Femi the ball to decide who gets to play with him moving forward. Because he didn't leave with anything left to be taken. I really think this is the correct choice. I hope this isn't a work. I really hope, because Lesnar was 1,000,000% advertised for Raw after Mania. That is not a mirage. He was advertised to be on the Raw after Mania.
I put him on the thumbnail myself because I thought he was there too.
And didn't it feel like Gunther and LA Knight thing was random? Like how we both want to main. That seemed
I'll
random.
take it though, but yes, it was random.
It was very random. It seemed like Gunther was just kind of left holding the bag, waiting for the Brock Lesnar moment that never came. And Paul Heyman's promo seemed very real and genuine and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe that Lesnar really did make that call on his own in that moment, read the room, recognized, I don't think I can make a bigger star than Oba Femi right now. I don't think it's possible. I don't think I'm going to retire at a bigger stage than this WrestleMania. I don't see myself going to Saudi and retiring there. I think this is it. And when he goes to Gorillas, like, what are you going to do about it? You want to fight me? I'm Brock Lesnar. It's about as Brock Lesnar a move as it gets. It's so on brand to not do a glitz and glamour retirement match. For Brock to just read the atmosphere and say, that's it.
It's old school to the core. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be done. I think to add to you, I think he heard the pop. He heard the feeling. He felt it in that arena when he walked in like, oh, this guy's the future. Because, you know, all the old heads always talk about how they could read another wrestler and be like, oh, they're not ready, a la Hogan and Sting, right? So when Brock did that, and I said this before, Santi, is like, what can TKO do when the light is red, when they're live? They can't do anything. Because you and I and the whole audience knows that that's it. That's his retirement. There's no way you could pull him back because that's the international forever symbol that you're done. I don't know what's it like on the podcast, you know, take out my BD, put it on the microphone and just walk away. But we don't know what that, you know, we don't.
You take off your fake mustache. It was fake the whole time.
And I just leave it here and leave. Right. So like there's none of that. Even like at work, right? You don't know when someone's fired unless you see the cardboard box. You see, oh, that person's fired. But in professional wrestling, when the boots are laid down.
Holy hell, bro. You have not had a real job in a while.
No, I have. I have been fired before.
I know, but like the cardboard box isn't the meme anymore. It's their teams or their Slack icon turns gray.
Right. Well, you haven't had a job in a while either.
2021, more recent than you.
That's 4 years.
Oh, God, that's kind of crazy. Actually, no, 2020.
5 years. 5 years.
No, 2023, I quit my job. Yeah. Cardboard box. What is this, 2008 financial crisis?
You know, it kind of reminds you like in every movie. Like it's a stereotype that you play out because people understand that's a signal, right? So when I see that Brock does that, I was like, okay, that's a signal that he's for reals, for reals. And when there's often criticisms that people want to be a pessimist about it that no one knew. Triple H has the ability to call things on the fly. And he proved that when CM Punk came back, he was like, all right, go to this camera, go to that camera, go to the wide, push in, do all this kind of things. And I think when he started to realize that Brock started to take off his shoes, he started to make the calls, all right, get a shot of his shoes. He understood the incitement. He's not going to cut away. And like I said, TKO don't know what the hell is happening. They don't know what's happening underneath their nose. So that's what happened right there, dude. Beautiful moment. Awesome moment. And hey, when you look at the DVD of Brock Lesnar, or what is it, the Netflix documentary,
the VHS,
the tape. When you look at the projection of Brock Lesnar, the radio call, you will see at the end of the day, it was the ruler that put him down. Pretty
and
cool.
Then following up on Raw as well, which, by the way, I thought this match, it was exactly what it needed to be. 5 minutes. We kind of called it. It's like, this is going to be under 8 minutes. I said that this was the only match, to sound a little bit selfish, that had my permission to be under 8 minutes, to be short. Because
it was, yeah.
Listen, it wasn't a squash. It was 50-50. And I like the simple story at the end, which was, we're both going to hit our finishers. Let's see whose finisher actually puts away the other. The F5 wasn't good enough. I like that it wasn't it didn't hurt me. It was the staggering, like, holy shit, he really did hit me with his best shot, but it wasn't enough. But the one fall from grace was enough. I actually really like that simple storytelling.
I like the mini story as well as when he gets knocked out, clothesline, then he gets knocked out and he rolls out in the ring and he goes upon him like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
in the review, I replayed those clotheslines like 5 times. Brock was trying to fucking hurt him. Those things were nasty and stiff. I think it was Brock actually testing this dude, and I think once the dust settled, once he heard the pop, all this stuff, and realized that, okay, this guy can take the physical punishment. All right, I'm retiring. I think I'm happy with putting over Oba Femi in this manner. But now you've got Oba Femi on the Raw after Mania doing his own play on the "It's my yard now" to
call back. Yeah,
your ruler has arrived. Drop the mic and walk away. We had the post show as well. Roman and Oba kind of from like opposite ends of the room, like kind of acknowledging each other, like we're gonna cross paths. 1, how early does that happen? And 2, what can realistically be next for Oba that isn't a downgrade, because he's at the top of the mountain now, and when he looks around, the only thing there at the top of the mountain is a 7-Eleven and Roman Reigns. How long can he go hang out in the 7-Eleven?
You been to Japan when you went up the orange temple and at that top of the mountain is that ice cream stand?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going for. I'm glad you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, dude, that ice cream is delicious. That I don't know, because it's like you have the WWE wanting to rebuild the bloodline, and Oba would crush that completely, right? You could have Oba go through the bloodline ranks, right? Work his way up the Mortal Kombat tower. I mean, I think that the thing that I think that WWE is going to do is that they're going to keep him as an attraction. And you know what they do? They put you on ice. I think you could put Oba on ice until King of the Ring. Once that starts starting up again, and then he could run through the King of the Ring, go all the way into the championship match at SummerSlam. I think that is a strong possibility. But man, it would just, I feel like we finally got Roman in a good spot. And I think like if you pull Oba versus the Roman, the tribal chief versus the ruler, it has to be bloodline rules, right? It's like, how can Roman survive that Oba Femi without any kind of shenanigans to help him out?
Maybe that's the payoff of getting the Infinity Stones, of bringing back all the bloodline members, and it pays off with all of them at Mania versus Oba. I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. I think that's just why when we had our 40-minute bonanza about this entire thing, I feel like for me, and I'm not clever enough, and of course it's not my job, but maybe you can, I can't solve this puzzle of how can a monster exist in modern 2026 booking, because that is where I personally get hung up on, and that is like where a part of the layer of the shit cake we had in that 40-minute thing was, can WWE booking help us absorb in this idea of this monster existing in this atmosphere, in this ecosystem? Because Brock Lesnar existed in an era where a man was willing to give that man the kingdom, and I'm living in this new modern world where I haven't seen a monster exist. It's like, it reminds me of War of the Worlds. You ever seen that movie?
I weirdly really like it, even though a lot of people hate it. I really like War of the Worlds.
It's dope.
Not the Ice Cube version.
No,
that movie's actually a metric butt ton of ass.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah.
But you remember that one when all of a sudden the War of the Worlds, those aliens showed up and they just started decimating.
Oh, I thought you were talking about how they just randomly died.
No. Well, spoiler alert, of course.
Oh yeah, it's my bad, guys.
But that's what I mean. It feels like if this monster exists on Earth, it's like it's a different kind of air for this kind of booking monster to be in. And I've always felt when I was watching the Royal Rumbles and when now I'm watching Chambers, I felt like when there is a monster in the ring, you have to solve for X. And I don't know if the WWE could solve for X without soiling the rise. Like, because you have to understand, like, there is people in this community, not me, of course, not anymore because they got beat the hell out of me, that will go, if Oba's given the keys to the kingdom and goes all the way to the top, then that's like an overpush, right? Oversaturation. That's like unbelievable type of thing. But then you have the Santi Slammers and, me trying to get on the train here, they would go like, no, it's warranted because he destroyed Brock Lesnar and retired Brock Lesnar now on top of that at Mania. So I ask you the question.
It has to be. And this is what the Oba feminists and the Santi Slammers have always been comparing it to. It just has to be the Brock 02 formula. You have it. We've seen, but like I get what you're saying. 2026 is different than 2002. you can't have this guy be a part-timer at this point in his career. There's no way. He can't be a special attraction. He has to be a weekly contributor. We got 3 PLEs in May. You know, like we need Oba to be part of these. They need to follow the O2 model. The O2 model worked with Brock getting pushed to the moon. Where he eventually found his match was in an incredible technical wrestler in Kurt Angle, who brought a different type of like, I am the best at this thing and I'm better than you at this style of wrestling. The other thing that vanquished Lesnar back in the day was a betrayal of a Paul Heyman, a Judas character. Maybe something like that could eventually be introduced to Oba Femi. There are ways, but it's tough in the modern day era. But the way to book it, Sancho, which is, where you were like, I don't see it, is Brock 02. It's especially now that they've literally had him unintentionally seemingly retire Brock. You not only did you beat Brock, you have the retirement stone that you stole from Gunther. They got to do something big with it. I think it's the Brock model, literally to a T. King of the Ring beat a Samoan at SummerSlam. It's set up perfectly to do the exact same thing as Brock Lesnar. And not only that, then Roman can go on his part-time schedule after SummerSlam, which is what it sounds like it's going to be, which is exactly what The Rock did. History is repeating itself here, Sancho. It really, really is. And that's what a lot of us NXT fans saw early on with Oba Femi, but we didn't fully buy into the possibility of WWE actually doing it. We just saw the potential that it could happen. And what's special is that they're doing it. They're actually doing it.
You think that Brock retiring, I think, is the catalyst that no one likes, the missing ingredient to the entire pie? Because no one saw that.
Is it the ratatouille?
It's the ratatouille, because if you really think about it, I think when people go, oh, then Brock is just going to go face Gunther, it takes away a little bit of the juice from what happened at Mania, right? Because then you have Brock and Oba existing in this world post Mania, but now Brock doesn't exist anymore. He got vaporized by Oba Femi, so now it's Oba's world now. But I think like when I go back into my hesitation, it's this like, I feel that the WWE is going to give him enough oxygen to be the ruler and to have the moment. Is the audience, as us, going to say like, yeah, this guy is justified, we should give him the green light? Because if we don't give him the green light, then anything else is just going to feel weird. Like if he gets screwed over, he gets like beaten down, he gets screwed over. Okay, here's what I think, Santi. If he gets hit with a sledgehammer, then that sucks. That's what I'm saying. If he gets Goldberg treatment, where Goldberg came in and tried to run over WWE, and out comes a Triple H type of character and hits him with the sledgehammer to stop him, to beat him, then I would go, they don't know how to solve this monster problem. I would give you 2 scenarios that came to my mind, that flashed in my mind while you were speaking eloquently, because this is the Santi I like. This is the Santi that doesn't gatekeep, that educates. Do you think Chad Gable, who has been missing for a long time, and apparently he might be back at the end of May, could be that technical wrestler to get that match out of Oba Femi?
It could be, right? Like, we need to find a kryptonite. And they can make the kryptonite whatever it is that they wanted to be. The kryptonite could be a super charismatic cult of personality character. It could be somebody that has the numbers game, like a Roman Reigns. It could be a super technical wrestler. Maybe it's even bigger guy than Oba Femi. I remember like in NXT, his kryptonite was heart. He lost to the heart of the D'Angelo family. Like all of the heart, sweat, and tears, the blood that was put in by Tony D'Angelo. As silly of a character as he is, he's a freaking mob boss, dude. He's Robert De Niro come to life in WWE at that moment. And it made sense that he vanquished Oba, because they told a really great tale of this character being the guy that could be the kryptonite to Oba. So anything and anybody could be the kryptonite to Oba. They just need to find a great way to tell that story and narrative.
I think that's the bigger question. Who's the Lex Luthor to this Oba Femi? And when you come to this point, and I had another thought coming around this corner for my second one, was who's this one guy that never could beat Oba, that's done so many tries to try to beat Oba, who probably knows Oba better than Oba?
I don't actually know what you're talking about.
Who's the one guy could never beat Oba for the title? Javon Evans.
Javon. Oh, that's great. great. That's, by the way, the story that I really think they were going to tell until WWE's like, give us Javon and Oba. I think it was supposed to be Javon and Oba at Stand and Deliver.
If Javon and Oba could run parallel, doing their own little things, and then if they could find a way to intersect these like a comment and have Javon have a crazy match, and if he could pull it off, that'd be so sick. I think that'd be so worth not having him beat him at NXT. And I think that would be a great moment. And I don't think that hurts Oba in any way. And that will make Javon, that would kick him up a couple notches. I don't know if the WWE has a foresight to do that, but I think there is a plenty of opportunities for Oba to explore. People saying that he should go down the IC. I don't know about that, because if he gets put down there, he kind of maxes out and he has to stay there for a while. No. You know, I mean, it's like as if when he dropped the belt at NXT, he came back for the NXT title, and you don't want that you don't want to cap him so early. Like the world is his oyster now that Brock eliminated him. Now I will say this: I have about 12 minutes left because we started a little bit late. But I'm satisfied with our conversation with Oba. I'm excited. I'm excited for Oba's future. And it's interesting that he didn't get the big dog treatment. That's the only difference of the ruler is here now, your ruler's here versus it's my yard now. That one's a boo! Boo! You hurt my feelings by getting Taker out. That was a completely different ballgame. But that's interesting, right? Because then that was Roman, the monster being built up, right? The big dog, this yard. And people were just rejecting it because it didn't sit well with them. So it is interesting to see different audiences and different eras mingling with the same kind of booking.
Sancho, I hope you enjoyed your time here in first class on the Oba Femi train. Reshunned, back to not being allowed, back to general admission. But it was great having you here and great having your analysis on Oba Femi and not being in your feelings about it. It's good to hear you talk about it. You are allowed to talk about it.
I was never in my feelings. I just want people, if you're going to say not allowed, sub to the channel, man. Help me out financially. Come on, man.
I mean, it's only fair. It's only fair. It's only fair if you're going to emotionally scar a man to at least help him out.
Because what happens is people think that they become surrogate Santis, and they think like they could do what you do. And I accept you because we've talked for so many years. You have to. No, I don't have to. I mean, but we roll together. We understand what hits each other's buttons. And then when someone else that I don't know goes, yeah, I'm like, you're not Santi. Stop it. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like, go away. I know Santi. I don't know you. I ban you. Get out of here. You know? That's what's happening. That's what happened at WrestleMania my whole entire freaking weekend. Someone goes, not allowed, general mission. I'm like, I get it. Hey, welcome to the stream. Hey, not allowed, general mission. Okay, I got it, man. And then I gotta time you out. You know what I mean? You're not something. You never got it as bad with New Day and the New Day train.
Okay, but like these are totally different beasts at this point. They are really different.
They were the hottest heel act when they turned heel. Dude.
I still can't believe they did nothing with it.
They still haven't done anything with it.
They're not going to. All right, I know you got very little time. IC title Intercontinental Championship match, banger. No story, so there's not really much to talk about here aside from. What we could be looking at a fatal four-way. Penta, the call-up of Ethan Page, Javon Evans, and Rusev, who's now being built like this monster in the mid-card, finally.
Did you say Joe Henry too?
I don't think Joe Henry's going to be part of this.
No, but he got called up, though.
He did get called up. Yeah, we haven't talked about Joe Henry.
I'm excited for Ethan Page because I've only seen his takeover in his NXT type of matches, right? His big PLE. So you don't get to see how he gets to wrestle on a weekly basis. But I enjoyed his style of wrestling against Javon. It felt like I was watching an early Jerry Lawler, like Memphis days Jerry Lawler.
It's old school.
It's very old school. Like that punch, like to the forehead. I was like, oh, I love this stuff. I was eating that up, and everything that he does, it feels like it's off the dome. It doesn't feel like it's oh, this is the move I do next. It's like, oh, I see this guy laying on the ground, I'm gonna kick him just because I can, type of situation. But I like Ethan Page, and I'm excited that I'm on board with him. I see the character, I get where he can go, and the dude is he's a draw. Like I can't stop not watching Ethan Page in the ring. But in talking about that Mania match, because it was freaking 15 minutes, it felt like, all right, you do your move, you do your move, you do your spot, you do your spot. Okay, we gotta go. And that's where I miss the drama of that ladder match, because it should feel like, oh my God, these guys are dead. They're in the car crash. It never had that moment like, who's going to win. Granted, they did have moments like, oh, hope spot for this wrestler, hope spot for that wrestler. Rusev's going to get it. Javon's going to get it. But at the end of the day, the time did hurt this match for me, and it kept it from being like an all-time banger of a ladder match. Because imagine if the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys with Edge and Christian were like, yep, you're going to get 15 minutes to have your TLC match. That would have been a travesty. So I think that WWE cut these boys a little. They hurt them because didn't it feel like a Saturday Night's Main Event where that tag match with AJ, Leon Slater, and Javon.
Just quick, boom, boom. We got to get our things in.
Yep. And then Abyss was like, I'm so sorry, Triple H. I will get this done. They were supposed to be out of here, Triple H. I'm so sorry. Bruce, this match is almost over, Bruce. We're on the go
home. Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. Did you interpret this as a double turn? Because I did.
I did until Little Yachty got involved.
I think it was fair and justified that he got involved because he got attacked first. Remember, he got involved after getting attacked, thrown to the barricade unprovoked. So I think it's just comeuppance of the bad guy. That's how I interpreted it.
I wish they brought it home then. Like really hit it over the head and the nail for like
you can't smack it. 7 minutes. That's another problem. But 7 minutes.
Like a post match or something, but I do feel that it should have been a coronation of Trick Williams, but it was just felt as if they handed him the title. It didn't feel like he pulled it away from the guy that brought back the open challenge, the guy that beat Mello. Like it didn't feel like he beat that Sami Zayn. He felt like he beat a Cliff's Notes version of Sami Zayn. He beat the ChatGPT summarization of Sami Zayn because that match just felt like it was a formality to get Trick Williams the belt, which that's why I graded it higher than it should have been because I was like, at least Trick got the belt.
Sure. I'm with you. Demon, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. This did not feel like it had a spot at Mania.
Did you feel that it was unfair for Dom, even though they gave it a street fight last second, that Dominic Mysterio, we're talking about superhero characters, he's not a Superman. Yeah. So when he tried to be a Superman and kept beating down the demons, like, this isn't working for you, Dom. That's not the kind of villain you are. You're more of a conniving one. Like, I was hoping that he would, like, try to tie him down, chain him down, like, do some kind of things where it limits his movement, put slime in his eye. The hell if I know, right? Something just to slow down the demon to outsmart him, but instead of they made him just be like, keep hitting him with your finishers. Now add a chair. But at the end of the day, hey, we got a Fortnite pickaxe. Did you see that? That's a Fortnite skin I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah.
And he had that stat. I was like, that was a pickaxe.
The fact that that's immediately what you come to is disgusting.
I tweeted it out. Well, no, to be fair, the demon, Finn Balor, did say, I had some great times playing Fortnite. And Epic in the Fortnite account retweeted him back. So I was like, ooh.
Oh, maybe. I just hate that this feud's still going after Mania. We're going to be here for a while, I think. But I think this is one of those 8-month feuds.
But at least it's Finn Balor now, right? And that dude looking tan, got a haircut, got that Italian faded beard. You ever watch those reels and shorts about how to do an Italian beard? You're like, I could probably do that. And then you go, you go, oh no.
Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill. This match was way better than I was anticipating. Did you feel the same way?
Well, I'm sorry. Can we go back? Like back? Is this a safe place?
Bringing it back.
Is this a safe place?
Sure.
I love Trouble as a theme song. It freaking works for Liv Morgan. And I have to say, it is this generation's I'm a Sexy Boy. That song, when it first hit, was like, ooh, this is a throwback to the hair bands. I'm not feeling it. And then eventually it just started to stick it and it started to feel it. And when you play Trouble, that's me. Alongside with I'm a Sexy Boy. It has the same vibes, and people hate on it, but dun 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 dun, watch me, ben. That was generic. This, my friends, is something that will last the test of time. Even though it feels like something like early 2000s, I think it's a timeless theme for Liv Morgan.
I think I'm with you. I didn't like it at first as a song, but then I remembered, I got to treat this like an entrance, not a song. I'm not going to live to this. But I think it's going to last the test of time. No,
yes, you are. Yes, you are. Trouble. Ugh,
that's me.
Come on, you will live to this. Come on, Santi. What, you lift the Sexy Boy?
I have lifted the Sexy Boy before, sure.
Yeah, getting them gains with Jimmy Hart going,
Oh God.
That is Jimmy Hart doing that.
I
Did you
didn't
know
know
that?
that. No, I didn't.
Yes, it is.
I thought it was
Listen back to it.
Sherry.
Nope.
Oh,
Not
gross.
that.
Yeah, you didn't need to do it again. Got it. I got it. Dude, you gotta go.
Rhea and Jade. Nah, we got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Rhea and Jade. Absolutely liked it. I know I was on my own island here, brother. Was all by myself. You literally left and marooned me here because you're like, fine, if you like it so much, bye. But I think that match was good.
I thought it banged.
Good.
I thought they worked so well with one another. Jade Cargill, yeah. Jade Cargill showed out. I thought she was fantastic in that match. I think now we're back-to-back solid matches that Jade Cargill has had for the championship, and we found the type of performer she works well with. A strong person. Rhea Ripley, right. Jordan Grace. Equal. They work really, really well here with Jade Cargill. Bro, the ending that I said, I'm like, that's an Eddie Guerrero counter. That's like straight out of Eddie's moveset. Turning the Jaded, going under the leg, hooking the arm, and then into the riptide was a thing of beauty. I thought they worked really well together. I almost wish no shenanigans, but whatever. But
it was very light shenanigans.
It was. I liked the match. I thought it was really, really solid. And I walked out of it saying, oh, I hope they continue the feud. And then I remembered, but the feud also requires promos, and that's still probably going to be terrible. But I still want a follow-up match to this.
See, they're getting better, dude. Their last promo feud was good, dude. It was, come on, dude. When Rhea said, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
All right. Well, let's get your thoughts in on Roman Reigns and CM Punk. We kind of already talked about it at length with when we talked about Raw after Mania. But give me your thoughts on this match here.
Sure. I did enjoy the presentation. I like CM Punk coming out to his indie days and Ring of Honor themes, the AFI. It really felt cool because they were cutting in between him and the B-roll, him and the B-roll, as if he was walking down and these memories were flashing through his mind. And I liked that even though the story was weird when we got to the build where it had notes of Bloodline and they had that thing about you're old, I'm glad that they paid that off. They made that comment paid off in this match because it was the thing that separated Roman and CM Punk. It was that moment, like these two guys, it could be a coin flip of who's going to win, but at the end of the day, one of them ran out of gas, and that's CM Punk. And what I liked about it as well is the Easter egg that they had Jon Moxley double GTS, Seth Rollins double GTS, Roman Reigns couldn't double GTS him because he ran out of gas. And there was a part of me wondering if they were going to pull this trigger, this lever, after that match was Gunther going to go, there's a guy looks like he's a little old and maybe I could retire.
I smell geriatric air.
Right? I think that would be that situation where he could pull that off. But no, they pivot into LA Knight World, which is a strange term.
Hey, we both won at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Yeah. But now, when it comes to CM Punk and Roman, we talked about it before. It was a singles match to the core. It felt like it was given the runway that you talked about. It was given its proper 30 minutes. It got into that second half, the third act of most matches that the other matches didn't get into. And it at least justified staying on WrestleMania 42 train, It was rough. The air condition wasn't working. We didn't get our snacks. We did get a soda, but it was all watered down, ice inside of it. But boy, oh boy, we stopped into that train and we're running into the Hogwarts. We're having a great time over here now. So that was the most important part for me, that at least it landed that situation. And the Monday night after Raw, it felt good. It felt weird, but good to see Roman with that belt. Didn't it feel weird?
It absolutely felt weird.
Right?
Yeah, but it works for me. I mean, I'm ready for it. Sancho, I think this is one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time.
Okay.
I just, maybe it's the going back and realizing, oh my God, this is what a night 2 main event with no shenanigans is like. But I just love the tale that they told. And like you said, I love the ending. That's exactly how I interpreted it. The only reason he lost, because he had him beat. He hit him with everything. It's just that one guy had more left in the tank because he's the younger guy. And I don't want, and maybe this is me being a little bit too on the nose. There was the line of you can't carry the company on your back because you're too old. That's where that all came from.
Yeah.
He had the physical manifestation of the company on his back, Roman Reigns. And when he had him on his back, he collapsed because he is too old. And I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful way to end that story. I don't know that I even want a sequel. I think I'm good with this. I think I'm just good with this tale here that they told.
Did you like them pivoting to CM Punk and Cody then? Like, not pivoting, but like moving on?
I think that's from WrestleMania next year. I don't think that's for Backlash or for anytime soon or SummerSlam. I think that's a WrestleMania next year.
If CM Punk can make it there.
If Cody can make it there, but he looked awful, bum ass Cody.
He looked like that fish in SpongeBob.
Yes, he looked awful.
My kids are getting me back into. I never really sat down and watched SpongeBob, but my kids are getting into it. So like I watch them watch it, and there's some stuff I'm like, okay, I get it. The best parts of SpongeBob is not the characters, it's the fish. The other fish characters.
I'm here for the fish, brother.
I'm here for the fish, brother. I'm here for the zip line. I can't seem to find my pen, dude.
Do you have time for New Heat Order? You could just get out of here.
No, I gotta go.
But
they're the New Heat Order fans. What about the fans? Are you cutting the New Heat Order fans short?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to be reading the $15 patrons, but you get out of here.
Later, sir.
Later.
Hey. The ruler is out. Bye. I'm not allowed, right?
Not allowed to say that?
Let me on. Come on, let me on. Let it
Dude,
in.
I let you in with guest passes. I have unlimited guest passes for the pod, guest passes, but
Come on.
What do you want? You just don't want the people to say not allowed.
Just call them, just end it. Please call them off. Call them off so I can just enjoy my own time here. My own island. You don't even raid me. You don't even raid my channel anymore.
Okay, just
let me live.
I'll let you live. Just say, I'm sorry, Santi, for being wrong. And I promise I won't do the psych or anything. I promise I'll end it. I'll end it.
Santi, I am sorry for being wrong about Oba Femi.
That's all we wanted, brother. That's all we wanted. Apology accepted. I can't control the masses. If they say not allowed, it is. Okay, fine, guys. I'll allow. In my book, he's allowed. All right. You're gonna have the rogue ones going not allowed. That's not on me. All right.
You give me full permission to ban them, though.
You can. It's your chat. You can ban them.
Yes.
I did have people come to my chat. Sancho banned me for saying not allowed.
You bums. You robots. All right. I'm allowed. Remember. It's official.
I need a drink.
Later, dude.
All right, goodbye. All right.
Vision out.
Dude, leave. Just go already. All right, he is frozen. Folks, thank you very much for watching this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. I told you guys it was bothering him and it was getting to him, so we should probably put him out of his misery and end it. Oh, man. Fun episode nonetheless. Thank you guys very much for listening here. A huge extra bonus shout out goes out to our $15 patrons. They are the ones that are... Sorry, guys. I'm trying to pull them up here. They are the producers of the show, and as such, also get their names read out on the air, and they also get to be part of movie night. Remember, folks, let Sancho be. It's bothering him, all right? The not allowed thing, it got to him. All right, let's move on from it. All right, so a special thank you goes out to Pinche Ads, go away and never come back. Let me get my glasses here. 414 Russ, Toasty, Ayo Salguero, Acknowledge the Pressure, Active D4C, Aiden Williams, Aiko, Abreem Zuda, Alex Regal, Alex, Alfie the Chosen One, Amalek, American Nightmare, Cody Lander, Anthony Blaze, Antony, Eric's, Ariel Pacheco, Arrogance, Arturo Gonzalez, Ashley Reynolds, Ashlyn Poole, Ozzy Kingslayer, Alwyn Dargan, Avawepa, badass construction worker, nice. Baldy, Ben Phillip, B Hostile, Big Max, Blaine, Blenda, Bluefish, Brad Davis, Braden Primo, Braden Scott, Brandon Diamond, Brody Cyphers, Brian Gallardo, Bubba the Big Fella, Bubbles J, Bunny Swag, Byron Williams, Cameron Waring, Cameron Talks WWE, Carlito CB, Chad, Chandler Swinford, Chew Poppy, Chris Butner Lucas, Chris Kyle, Christian Anderson, Chucky Gonzalez, Clayton Warford, Colby Mayo, Cool Whip Tim, Crispy, Krusty Dingleberries, Damian Martinez, Dan Schubert, Darth Squiggles, Darth Taters, Death Taxes and Weekly LA Night Botches, Dijon Salgado, Derek Barnhart, Devin Newsom, Dirty Dom for Undisputed Champion 2026, DJ Bates, D Lopez, Dominic DeCoco, Drake Hughley, Dylan, Eagle Steve, Egg Toast, El Juan de Americano, El Jochi, Edom Yasukichi, Eric Ruiz Romero, Ethan Richardson, Evan, ISAT, still not allowed. Sancho, he's allowed. Okay, apparently he's allowed now. The gay community, Fletcher Walpole, FMFCMA, Froster JK, Freddie Trejo, Freelance Hot Takes, Frenzy Wrestling, Freezer, Fugnux, F as in Fugnux, U as in Ugnux, Get Ready to Oil Up Santi, Gibby the Pressure Fresh, Gilbert Deans, Glass Eater, Godspeed, Goonhausen, Goose Lesnar, GXA Man, Harrison is Better, Keith Robertson, Henry Volpel, Hayes Shakes, Ian Kelts, Ia Dragonuts, Ill Magic, Inks, Issa says, Podcast 1 asking Santi to pay for All In. It's Astro Kid, Jack Gibley, Jack Harris, Jack Mueller, Jacob Saffel, Jake, James Armin, Jasu, Jason Flint, Jason Vane, Javier Rodriguez, Jax Teller, Jaden Lawrence, Javion McDuffie, JC Worley, Jeremiah Alston, Jeremiah Finley, Jeremiah Kelly, Jahihia, Hihi, Joe Benitez, Joe Exotic, Joe Latera, Joe Velez, Joey Romig, John Nosey, Jonathan Cox, Johnny Owens, Jordan Cardoso, Jordi Marte, Jose Olivares, Josh Gilbert, Josue Navarro, Juan Lamelli, Juan Vega, Julian Dean, Juliana Sarfi, Julian Wainwright, Jr., Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Caleb Martin, Kevin Bega, Kevin Clark, Kilo, Cody Barker, Christopher Gutierrez, Kyle Hart, Lawrence Richard, Lemon Wepa Peppa Steppas, Liam, Life of Brian, Lil Shifu, Look, It's Pac-Man, Wepa, Luis Jimenez, Luisito El Calvo, Majed, Make Edge and Gunther, tag team called Edge and Goon, Mark, Marnie YCSM, Martis Taylor, Mason, Matthew Oberg, Mossy, Mackay, Micah Davis, Michael Marname, Michael III, Miguel Paredes, Minoru Suzuki is goated, Mohammed Al-Banai, Nate Finley, Nemo, Nicholas Protopopis, Nicholas Kyle, Nicholas M. Daskevich, Nico Vance Refrigeration, NyQuil Pad, Noah, Noradin was Noradin, Oba Juan Fanobi, Odin Sword, Old Man Rican, Oliver Hammonds, Omar Ghazawi, On This Day, I Fajitas, Oren Nachmias, Oscars, OV1, Kenobi 21, Pat R, Pat McMark, Peyton Muscleman, petition to now call it the Mexican Destroyer. No. Philip Dumas, Frody, Prince Vegeta, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Raiders for Life, Randomly Chosen, Ranga Dog, Rainier Neko, Reaper God, Red Hot Wepa Peppas, Ricky Dutcher, Rose City Savage, Roy Alexander, Ryan Halberg, Ryan Muniz, Ryan Spradley, Riley, Sadie Brink, Salty Dad. Sancho doesn't like donating to charity. Sancho, please give me your cream. Sancho said Oba like the ending of Mania 27. Sancho said Oba plays Fortnite on Combat Pro. Sancho said Oba pours the milk before the cereal. Sancho said Oba should be wrestling bingo hall. Sancho said Oba uses incognito mode to be mysterious. Sancho said Oba's fall from grace probably don't hurt. Sancho thinks Oba deserved to be squashed by Brock. Sancho West, everybody, exactly, no pop. Santi, you saved my life in 2024. Dude, I'm dying at all those Oba ones. Santi's scared of baby oil, Sauce God, Saudi Rick Boog, Savage Fields, Scott Rico Gaming, Sass, Shane, Shannon Bryan, Sean, Sheldon Hickman, Shitsney Nakamura, Silent Sancho, You Are Cursed, Skylar Bashir, Slayer, Smag, Stay True, Sugar Shane, Super Malachi Galaxy, take a shot every time Sancho says good old, the original Second City Saint, the Patriots own the Chargers, the Vanilla Joe Rilla, the LA Knight Mega Glazer, Jacob Kufis, the Final Boss, Bloodline Rules, TKO versus WWE, Tom Lehman, Tom Shucksmith, Tom Dodd, Trevor Harder, Trey Hunt, Tristan Repko, Trouble, that's me, Tubhausen, Turner Dahl, Ty Jones, Tyco, Tyler Bouchard, Tyler Brandt, Tyler Logan, Tyler McGarry, Undead T, United Sane, Unknown Zero, Utah Beach, Venom D, Tyler, Verzo, Void Z, Juan Pablo III, Wayne Heiser, Wayne, we got Thumbnail Sancho before GTA 6, White Mexican, Wody, why does Sancho play elevator music in WrestleMania review, William Newton, Wyatt, Zach Smira, Yo Girl Side, Zach Griffin, Zach Holdick, Zach Butchers, A2K, Zeke Love, BB&J, and gracias. Thank you guys all for supporting the channel. That is a record number of $15 patrons. So thank you guys very much for your support. Remember, guys, he's allowed. Be nice to him. I'm out. Goodbye, everybody.